What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Tencent and Ubisoft, or Gilmonte family, are considering moving Ubisoft assets to a new venture, it's claimed. We're also going to talk about Marvel Rivals. We'll take measures to vanquish these nefarious behavior of Marvel Rivals. Will ban console players who use mouse and keyboard. We're also going to talk about Marvel Rivals director reveals plans for esports as well. We're also going to talk about the UK and other regions are running suspiciously low on Xbox Series X console stocks, while the PlayStation is still widely more available. These are topics that we're doing on today's show. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do appreciate you very much for coming in every morning. Like I said, we're here Monday through Thursday, just covering news stories, having conversations, and getting you through a couple hours of your day. What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Robert Jones, Kylo Green, Eclipse? Who am I missing? Anybody else that's here early? Let's see. Big Mo. Good morning. Mo's here early. We didn't even have to say Game Pass. Didn't even have to say Game Pass, and Mo's here. Sweet. Clip says, I have like 60 hours in Path of Exile 2, and I'm waiting for a new update, starting a new class. I am just addicted to Marvel Rivals right now. I haven't gone back into Path of Exile 2 at all. What's going on, Mr. Luke? So obviously the news circuit right now is just heavy on Marvel Rivals. What's going on? They're just constantly keeping in the news. You have to watch Blood of Dawn Walker trailer. I haven't watched it yet, and I'm afraid if I watch it, then they're gonna nick me. You know what I mean? Like on trailers. That's a problem that I have with watching certain trailers, because I don't know, do they play like some DMCA music or whatnot? We could watch it. If we watch it, I would rather watch it later in the show. That way, if I have to like trim it out, I can just trim it out, and it's much easier. What's going on, Rowick? I have a surprise song that I created for Roadkill. So when Roadkill comes into the chat, we have, was it last night? I think it was last night. Roadkill gave me a $20 super chat, and he said, I rule, you're cool, and Xbox drools. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a song about that. And I did. And let me tell you, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So when Roadkill gets here, we'll play that. We'll play that song for him. As I said, for $20, I'll make a song for you. He didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it. But when he did it, I was like, you know what? That sounds good. I can make a song about that. Eclipse says, the music is made by the composer of The Witcher 3, so I'm guessing it's not DRM, but it might be. We'll watch it at the end if you want. We'll watch it at the end. That way, like I said, if I have to edit it out, it's much easier to edit out. So Roadkill's the ultimate Sony pony now? Why would that make him a Sony pony? Because he said Xbox drools? I mean, it's just a fun line. All right, where do you guys want me to start? You guys want me to start with the Tencent Ubisoft? You guys want me to start with the Marvel Rivals vanquishing console players who use mouse and keyboard? You want to talk about the UK and other regions are running suspiciously low on Xbox Series X? Let me know what you guys think. But make sure you tell me in a positive way. Don't tell me what you don't want. Tell me what you want. Right? What's going on, Ron? Like, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. That's what Tim wants. Don't tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you like. You know what I like about when it's cold outside? All my beverages that we store are cool. I don't even need ice or anything. It's fantastic. I think you should start the Daredevil Born Again trailer. That'll definitely get me hit. 1000%. El Dente says, I would like to start with Rivals. Because El Dente's out after that. He's like, talk about Rivals, and then I'm going to shut you off. Rowick says, I picked up the emulator hard drive yesterday that has 80,000 plus games. 80,000 plus games. if you took just a couple of seconds to play each of those games, it would take you years to finish them. Tim wants UK Xbox. El Dente says, I have a work meeting. Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what, El Dente. Since you've been with me for almost a decade, from Twitch, from back in the day, to Mixer, back to Twitch, over to YouTube. We'll talk about that. I'll do a solid for you. I will do a solid for you. That's how I roll here. Dedication. You know what I mean? Dedication. I respect that. All right. So let's talk about the first story here. Okay. We will take measures to vanquish. I feel like I should put like a voice. I don't have a voice changer, but we will take the measures of vanquish the nefarious behavior. Marvel Rivals will ban console players who use mouse and keyboard. I feel like that's the way it should be. What's going on, dog? Okay. Aldente says, you heard it first. I'm his favorite. Using third-party emulator devices to gain advantage may get you banished in the negative zone. Okay, says Marvel Rivals Studio NetEase Games. Okay, so the creator of Marvel Rivals don't want console players swimming in the same Jeff-infested pool as PC players or using our equipment to gain an advantage. Okay, so the other day we were having this conversation about those little dongles that you can plug in that use the mouse and keyboard that people can like cheat. And everyone's like, that's not cheating. It's not cheating. It's not a big deal. Well, the people that make the game say otherwise. Okay. So that's evidence of the announcement made today that Marvel Rivals Steam page, where NetEase characterizes the use of keyboard or mouse adapters as a form of cheating. It says, quote, we believe in gaining the unjust advantage through such methods significantly impacts the gaming experience for our players. Therefore, whether our PC or console, we will take measures to vanquish. I feel like every time you say vanquish is one of those words. We will vanquish the nefarious behavior and post-dramatical promises. Okay, penalties for using keyboard and mouse adapters may include temporary and permanent account suspension, removed from leaderboards, or punishment depending on the circumstances. Okay, so if you're using one of these things, they will find you and they will ban you. There was a guy online. I was watching Tim the Tatman, and he had a video where he was talking about the guy that got banned for doing, I forget which character he was using. I think he was using Hela. Got banned for 100 years. Got banned for 100 years. That's amazing. I don't know if that's a IP ban. I don't know if he can never ever purchase or play that game again from his house. He's got to move. I have no idea. Okay. It says, we believe that the gaming is unjust advantages through such methods significantly impacts the gaming experience for our players. Therefore, whether you're on PC or console, we'll take measures to vanquish. I already read that part. Sorry. Anyone playing on gamepad in Marvel Rivals, including on PC, has access to aim assist, a feature built into the game that adjustable through 6 specific settings. What NetEase implies in the above quote is that using one of these adapters allows infringing console players access to the best of both worlds. The fine controls of using the mouse and keyboard use the aim assist, since Marvel Rivals and the mouse masquerade as the controller. Okay, so in the game itself, you can change the stuff. Okay, you can change the stuff. Okay, it says the adapters in question are small boxes that sit between a console and a paired controller, designed to allow console players to use mouse and keyboard. The other USB input devices or platforms not designed to accept them. Today's consoles, like the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, do natively support keyboard and mouse connectivity, but support in games is left up to developers and still rare. Adapters cost $100 to $150 and are freely available through retailers like Amazon. One genuine appeal to these tools is that they allow players to strongly prefer a certain gamepad to use it on a platform that doesn't support it. Okay, it says in this minor threat, NetEase went as far as the names of manufacturers that it sees as enabling rule breakers. Okay, so you have the XIM, the Chrono Zen, the Titan 2, the Keymander, okay, the Brooks Sniper, and for examples of emulators that could also lead to punishment if used. NetEase flaunts its ability to detect these devices in such unusual for a studio to project strength in order to discourage cheating. But what's surprising is that the method may rely on human moderators in some degree, saying that Quote, we have forged a strong detection tool and a couple of Ken judgment of a watchful human eye to accurately identify those using keyboard and mouse adapters. Now, the reason I think they're doing this is because the replay system is amazing, right? Now, I understand that Overwatch has a replay system and stuff like that, but their replay system here is so good where you can just watch every single person from every single perspective to see if they're cheating. And you will be able to detect if they're cheating if you're just watching them, okay? So, obviously, we talked about a competitive scene, like an esports, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the reason I think they're taking these steps is because it's not like you're going into tournaments and stuff at like a location. You're doing this on the actual internet. And if they don't crush this from the start, in my opinion, it gets worse and worse as it goes, right? They basically say it up here in the very beginning, right? It just ruins the community. It ruins what the game is. Okay. It says players themselves can use the Marvel Rivals' somewhat hidden replay tool to spot suspected cheaters. The game stores replays for many of the previous quick and competitive matches, allowing you to spectate from perspectives of any player, retroactively report them in misconduct. The existence of replay tool is necessary in fractures, in fracture. Also, a modern anti-cheat system, and could mean that the player telemetry, okay, like mouse movements, are being stored and analyzed in some fashion. Valve's been doing this in competitive first-person shooters with VACnet, a machine learning-driven system, for nearly a decade. Okay, it says through Marvel Rivals supports crossplay, a wall between console and PC players is higher than just hardware. Console players cannot play competitive mode with PC players, though you can queue in console friends in other modes and play competitive crossplay is off limits. Okay. It says often frequently asked questions. The Chrono Zen keyboard and mouse adapter website. The creators reassure that devices does not hack anything in the game or console, but admit that they also always possible that you can be banned or blocked at any time without notice of warning. If it doesn't hack anything, then why would you be banned? Right? If it doesn't give you an advantage, then why would it ban you? Okay, from their own website. They're just covering their asses because if it says that you can't use it, then, it's like, oh yeah, we're fine, but you might get banned. When using a third-party device while playing online games on console, it also reassures players that because the Chrono Zen piggybacks off an official connected controller to send inputs, the console always believes that you're gaming with a controller meant for consoles you are playing on. Now, obviously the person that created this thing wanted to get an advantage over something. Now, we watched the video last week talking about how these things is meant for other uses, right? Again, I did an example of people make knives, and knives can do harm to people, okay? Not everyone uses a knife to make harm of people. They use it to cut apples or meats and whatnot. But you could use it in that way, and people are, if you use it in that fashion, you are prosecuted in that fashion, okay? So these controller devices are meant for helping people or doing certain things with it, but not meant for cheating. But people can use them for cheating. And if you're using it for cheating, you will get prosecuted in certain games. Okay. It says other competitive shooter studios have been taking similar steps against input emulator devices in 2023. Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2.0 crackdown and used all these devices in Call of Duty. And notably, one of the few shooters was official mouse and keyboard support on PlayStation. For Rainbow Six Siege, Ubisoft in 2023 introduced a system. It's called Mousetrap, not merely banning input emulation devices, but doing something much more cruel, introducing input lag against offending players, turning the advantages into a disadvantage. So, obviously, there's a lot of things that they can do to, stop these things if they're looking for it, right? Most people are not doing it, but because they want a competitive aspect of this game, NetEase is looking to, take these nefarious devices and people and ban them. And you might be banned for a couple weeks. You could be banned for life, right? So with each their own, take a risk and do what you think is right. If you want to get that kill-death ratio up or you want to get more wins than somebody else, in the long run, it might not work out for you. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of this? Marvel Rivals will ban console players who use the keyboard and mouse with these emulators in between. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, let's see here. I like how just last week, some of you were like, well, there's not that many people cheating on console. You silly, silly men and women. If there wasn't that many people, then why would they even talk about it? If it was just such a small portion of people cheating, then why would they even care? Right? Aldente says the next step is that you play on the Switch and use the controller instead of Joy-Cons. You are vanquished. Yeah, vanquished. Travis says 99 years. It was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically it is a lifetime ban. Kyle says, I play on PC and still use a controller for everything. Just don't want to take the time to learn the keyboard and mouse. Mr. Luke says, I put the 100-year ban in the Discord in Marvel Rivals chat. Oh, is it actually... Is that what it is? It's 100 years? Is this it? Let me see what it says. Yeah. So this is the 100-year. It says penalty issue. This player got banned for 100 years for using a cheating tools. I just don't get why people cheat. Some of you in the audacity to type in easy in chat afterwards to absolutely deserve the punishment. And Marvel Rivals doing an amazing job showing truly they care about the community. It says violation detected. Violation detected. Your character faces a penalty for December 19th, 2124. Okay. Penalty details, login suspended, converter. If you have any questions, please contact us. Yeah, please contact us. You've been banned for 100 years. Amazing. I have no pity for people like that. I really don't. Okay. I hate cheaters. I hate liars even more. And if you're cheating, you're probably lying. So I have no space for you. All right. I have no space for you. Okay. Water Bear says, gotta love aim assist. Kylo says, the fact that thousands of people use these daily on COD and other shooters is unbelievable. Why is cheating so common? The Chronos, you can download scripts for less recoil, more aim assist. Yeah, it's just to help you. It's just to help you on stuff. Robert Jones says the detection is just for PC. How are they going to detect Zim on consoles? They can. We just read it. They said they have ways. They don't need to tell you how they're detecting it. Plus, they have the replay system, and they can tell you if you're using certain things based on how you're acting. Right? You can tell if someone's using a mouse and keyboard the way they move. Let's see. You got to remember. You don't okay. So you're thinking that obviously the person says the person that made the devices says they can't be detected, which is fine. But if a company buys a couple of these things and they reverse engineer them, they could 100% detect what's happening based on what the metrics are. Just like the a couple of weeks ago, we talked about how the mouse shakers, people make these mouse shakers, okay? And they know that people are using the mouse shaker. Now, the mouse shaker is a physical object that you put your mouse in and it shakes the mouse so it knows what you're doing, right? Well, a developer bought all of the mouse shakers, so people that are working from home, okay, he bought every single one and then did a test on them to know which one acts like what, and so they know if people are actually using a mouse shaker or if they're actually working at the house, right? If they're actually doing work or they're using one of these things. And then he knows who's working or not working based on the tests, right? I would assume, and again, I'm not sure if Marvel Rivals is doing this themselves, but if NetEase probably picked up all of these things and said, well, let's test out and see how we can detect these. And they can, right? Or maybe they're just full of shit. Maybe they're full of shit and they said, yeah, let's just tell them we can. I guess find out, right? Go ahead and use it. Go ahead and use it, right? People put cameras up on their properties all the time, but there's not actual cameras. They just look like they're cameras, right? But test it out. See if that camera actually works, right? Sarge says, I guess we blame the pen or the computer for hateful writing, or better yet, blame the car for hit and runs. That's right. The car just does it by itself. Eclipse says, yeah, I wish they would make it an input-based matchmaking because I also play with a controller on PC. Robert Jones says some of the emulation takes place on the controller itself. How are they going to know if the controller is sending a legit inputs to the console? I don't know. You're going to have to ask one of these people that can reverse engineer stuff and figure it out. Sarge says, you don't get why people cheat. Maybe you should pick up a psychological book and to read up on it. It's pretty clear. Shadow says, 30, please contact us so you can sit with the tech support those 100 years. Yeah, right? El Dente says, I've had people where obviously cheating, and then you call them out, and they suddenly, that God game sense, the aim fully disappears. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they get scared. Because they're like living on the edge. They know they're doing something sneaky. They're like, no one's going to text me, right? No one's going to know I'm cheating until you do the wiggle, right? And then everyone knows you're cheating. And then how many people are cheating, right? Remember that? Remember that video we watched? The little wiggle. How many people are actually cheating, right? Apparently everyone's cheating. Everyone was cheating. He was going to every match, and everyone was wiggling, and everyone knew they were cheating, and they would work together to cheat. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, all of them. All of them. All of them were cheating. If you're not first, you're last, Ricky Bobby. The good old Ricky Bobby. All right. We have another Marvel rival story. What is this? Protected by, okay. The goddamn AI bots in the QP games, cheaters. Yeah. Yep. I have a solution for cheaters. You're already here. Public flogging. The next story we have for Marvel Rivals is the director reveals the plans for esports. Okay. He says, what Marvel Rivals esports going to look like is a question that every player has been asking, and the game director and the hero shooter has been just revealed their approach towards competitive aspect of the title. Dustin last night, when we went live, he said in the chat that, first of all, we knew esports was coming to the game before they even came out. What's going on, Hilly? And Dustin said Overwatch, Marvel Rivals is going to get an Overwatch, and it's going to be sweatier than Overwatch, he said. And if they do this, it'll only last a year. And I was just like, that's a hell of a take. That's a hot take, okay? Because Marvel Rivals will be here for at least 2 years, minimum, right? Think about this. Marvel's Avengers was around for 2 years before they stopped supporting it. Suicide Squad is here a year before they stop supporting it. Marvel Rivals will be here for a minimum 2 years before they're like, all right, slowing down or whatever, right? Like, there's no way, because they add a competitive thing to esports for this game, that it's going to destroy the game. Not that fast. Not that fast. You might be correct in the long run as far as saying that down the road it will kill the game. Okay. I don't think they should go all in on the competitive to make it like an Overwatch or make it like a Rainbow Six and stuff like that. But they can be in the esports space. It says, during an interview with Metro, Marvel Rivals game director Chen has asked about NetEase Esports aspirations for the game, and Chen responded that Marvel Rivals Esports is something they have been thinking about on a broader scale. Looking for the picture as a whole, this approach aims to cater to both competitive and casual players. Okay, they got to be careful. They got to be careful, in my opinion. Okay, obviously they can do what they want, but if they make it too competitive, it's going to shoot the people that are just casuals out. If they start making roll queue and they start doing all these different things, they're going to lose their fan base they have right now. Right now, it's a you have everything going for you. You don't want to ruin it because you want to go just towards the 1% type of guys, right? It says Chen added that the team hopes their competitive mode for tournaments can coexist with the quick play mode. The developers have observed several games managing healthy competitive and quick play environmental simulations, okay, or simultaneously, sorry. And they will also use references from these titles to help both player pools thrive. The director didn't reveal the upcoming esports tournaments for Marvel Rivals. This is a very they have to balance this very well, okay? If you go too much towards competitive, your quick play guys will leave, and that's the majority of your population, which is quick play, okay? If you make quick play too much quick play, like go too broad, then the competitive guys leave. You're trying to have this balance of both, where people that are playing in quick play might one day go up to competitive, and you want to keep the competitive happy where they stay and keep playing that game as you add more heroes and add more maps and more team aspects and stuff like that, where team synergies and stuff, right? So it says, apart from the competitive plan, from Marvel Rivals, the director also spoke about the new additions of the roster during this interview. Players can expect new heroes to be added every 3 months. Okay, here are more details. Okay, it says, in other news, Marvel Rivals has figured out how to locate bots with the help of Invisible Woman's ability. Also, 5 more heroes are reportedly arriving for the game, including X-Men's Professor X. What are your thoughts on the game director's approach towards Marvel Rivals Esports? Let us know in the comments section. Okay, so it's a short little excerpt here. Okay, but yeah, the balance is very, very, very important right now for where the game is. Okay, you don't want to be the mom and dad that walk in on a party that your kids are throwing and be like, everyone out, and everyone's like, we thought you were cool, and then you left. Okay, so the new hero thing that they're talking about as well is that they said every 6 weeks they're adding a character. Okay, now I get what I'm about to say is, and I'm sticking with it because I said before the game even launched, and I'm sticking with it as the game came out. Right now, they front-loaded 2 heroes right now with Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, and then they're bringing out Johnny Storm, and they're bringing the Thing, okay, in the second half. 6 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, they're bringing 2 other characters in, okay? Going forward, they said every 6 weeks, so, right, every 6 weeks they're adding 1 other character on top of that. Well, with the 4 that they've added, or the 4 that they're going to add, okay, they've added 2, they're adding 2 more, that's already 4. If they add every other 6 weeks in Season 2, right? You have 1 character in the beginning, 1 character in the middle. Season 3, you have 1 character in the middle, or 1 in the beginning and 1 in the middle. And Season 4, you have 1 in the beginning and then 1 in the middle. So you got 6 total. 6 and 4 is 10. 10 heroes in 1 season. I know everyone's thinking, well, no other hero shooter does that. This is way beyond what other people do. This is already amazing. Okay, they have to double that. They got to double that. And I get it that people are going to be like, no, too many heroes. There's going to be too many people, and then it's gonna wreck the player base. No, it'll raise the player base. It'll help spread out the people that focus just on 1 character. You're just keep adding more people into the game. It'll bring in more people into quick play. It'll bring more people into the actual game. It'll have more people spread out instead of focusing on like Hawkeye mains or Captain America mains. Okay, because the longer the game stays out, okay. I don't even know how to show this, right? So the longer the game stays out, the more people, right? The more people get better with each of the characters, okay? And if you're only adding 1 new character every 6 weeks, we all know and we understand that the people that play games play nonstop constantly, and they're just going to learn that brand new character in that 6 weeks. But if you add more heroes in that pool, okay, more people will spread out and they won't focus in on that brand new character and know how it works. It'll take a longer period of time. So instead of adding, I think they should keep what they're doing now. Now, obviously, I know I'm asking a lot, and I know it takes time to make the characters and fit them in and balance them as far as the stuff is. But if you add 2, it prolongs and doubles the amount of time, right? If you add 4 each season, okay, I think they should have 15 to 20 characters per season because, I'm sorry, per year, not season. So 15 to 20 characters per year, because if it lasts 2 years, you're only adding 40 characters on top of the 33, and then that's it. And then let's say the game is done, and they're like, oh, well, the game is done. After 2 years, we had 60 characters in the game. And you're like, cool, right? Fantastic game, right? If it goes on past the 2 years and it goes to 3, then it's just better, okay? You could pick all the characters that you want. People are coming in because they wanted to play Puck, or they wanted to play Gambit, or they wanted to play Juggernaut, whatever. Okay? So the more you add, the better, in my opinion. I think they should work on more maps, more game modes, and they have to, in my opinion, add a PvE mode. Okay? That's a lot, Mike. I prefer quality over quantity. If you prefer quality over quantity, then go play Overwatch. You see what I'm saying, House? Because the brand of Marvel Rivals is Marvel, and it happens to be a Overwatch clone, which is a Team Fortress clone, okay? There's no one complaining, okay, that League of Legends has 1,000 characters, okay? There's no one complaining that, what's the other one? There's League of Legends, and then there's the other one, okay? No one's complaining that there's too many characters, okay? You don't have to play all the characters. But for the people that want to come in, someone out of the 60 characters they put in the game might play 1 or 2 characters. Somebody else might be playing 5 to 6 characters. No one says that you have to play all 60 characters, but the characters in there would separate the people so you're not focusing on just those main ones. Crowded House says, but I think one character every 6 weeks is a lot. They need time to make them unique and cool. They already are unique and cool. The characters exist. They're in comic books already. You already know their powers. You already know what they do. You already have a backstory for these characters, and people just want to see them in a video game. Okay? Right? Overwatch has to make that character from scratch. There is no powers. There is no character story. There is no model of that character. They literally have the art design already created for these characters. They're like, let's put Deadpool in the game. Deadpool already has a set of skills. Now they just have to implement it into the actual game. Right? This game doesn't have to be like the rest of the games. It doesn't have to be the same stringent one character every 30 days or every 90 days, and you get 4 characters for the year. Sure, they're already doubling what they've done. Okay? Right? That's if Overwatch is doing it so well, why isn't everyone go play Overwatch? Why was everyone complaining about Overwatch? It is what it is. And why did Overwatch change from putting PvE? Marvel Rivals can do the kill. They can do the kill for Overwatch. Real simple. Add more characters, put PvE in, and people are just going to have fun playing the game. That's what it is. They just want to have fun playing a power fantasy of Marvel characters. Again, it's a very unique situation that Marvel Rivals is over any other hero shooter. Nobody gave a shit about Concord and the characters because nobody cared about the characters. Nobody cared about what the game was. Everyone already knows the Marvel heroes. Eclipse says, yeah, but also have to worry about balance. If you don't like League for the past 3 years, every character has been OP and no one plays the old characters. But that's their problem, not yours. As a consumer, Eclipse, you can play any character that you want to play, right? And the power fantasy for Marvel Rivals is exactly that. They don't have to. The reason it works is because of the team synergies with the characters, right? If a character's OP, you can counter against that because of the team-ups on your team, so you have a chance against certain characters. If you're playing Wanda, Wanda's good. But if you play Wanda with Magneto, it's better, right? If you play Thor, Thor's good. But if you play Thor with Storm and Captain America, it's better. Right? It completely changes the landscape of what the character's abilities are when you team up with the other characters in the thing to do the it's like the fourth element in the rock, paper, scissors, right? It's like rock, paper, scissors, dynamite. Okay. Travis says, come on, 30. We all know that we kept Overwatch alive, and it initiates the initials are PH. Not true. The fact that Iron Fist can fight Thor and not be destroyed instantly breaks the immersion. Let's go on, Dolphin. Yeah, I think it's great that they're doing at least 10, okay? But they need to do more. Because especially if you're doing themes, I've said this before in the past. Good morning, Wonder Rose. Right? I've said this in the past. When you add one character, everyone plays that one character. So for right now, there's game modes that you have to play Mr. Fantastic or Invisible Woman, right? When you get into a match, it's really hard to get to Mr. Fantastic or Invisible Woman because everyone's trying to pick them so they can go do the dailies and weeklies and whatnot, okay? But if you add more characters, more heroes, then everyone can at least try somebody new and continue doing their stuff, right? If someone's like, they're like, I got to do my Mr. Fantastic thing, but I can't get in because everyone keeps picking it, right? That deflates someone. They're like, I guess I'll go play something else, right? Sure, from a gamer perspective, they're stopping you from playing. From the developer perspective, they're okay with it because you're playing more matches now. Because if you can't use Mr. Fantastic or Invisible Woman this match, you're going to go play a different match and then come back and play it again. So the longevity of you playing that game is a little longer each day, okay? The more they add, the better it is because then more people will see the new heroes, so on and so forth. Crowded says, I think they should produce what they can handle. We don't know what they can handle. What I'm saying, House, is you're saying that if they do this, they can't do it. You don't know that. What I'm saying is if they do this, okay, and I'm not saying if they can because of we don't know how many people they have working on the game. We don't know how many art guys they have. We don't know how many developers they have making on matches. You don't know the quality they're making. Every quality they've made so far looks pretty damn good for all the characters. So to defend and go, well, I would like to have quality over quantity, you have no idea what the input they can. NetEase is a huge company. And if this game is making $136 million for the first month, that's on track to make like $1.3 billion if it keeps on track, if not more. Okay? You add more characters, it adds more skins. You add more skins, it adds more money. Right? So to say that the quality, they need to slow down, you're taking that off of all the other people, like a game like Suicide Squad, they didn't have the people. A game like Marvel's Avengers, where they didn't have the quality of people. We have no idea what the quality of people that they have working, what they can do, what the time frame is, how much they already have in the pipeline that they've already worked on. The game's been worked on for 4 years. Right? 4 to 5 years the game has been worked on. Right? They front-loaded the characters for this season. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Right? Maybe what they could do is maybe one season's loaded, one season's light. One season's loaded. This is not like they're making Destiny here, where Destiny couldn't keep up because they had all these story content. There's not story content here. These are just matches, and the content is the character, and they're giving you the characters for free. Right? They don't have to make cutscenes, right? They don't have to make all this other stuff. You don't have a storyline as a regular game. It's literally a comic book, and they have storyline, and all the dialogue is in there is just, you just read it. There's no cutscenes. There's not even animation stuff. There's little cutscenes in the very beginning, and that's it. Travis says 30. I mean, let's be honest. If Marvel game, they could also put a new character every day and still have characters for like 6 years. Not saying that they should, but Marvel is that freaking big. Correct. Noob Tech Guy says, I think a lot of these DLC characters are already made. I bet they're also doing Season 2 or probably already have characters ready to go. You would think they would have some sort of characters in the pipeline ready to go and then switching it and changing it or whatnot, right? I mean, they've already data mined 20 characters. Well, if they're only doing 10, they've just data mined the next 2 years worth of characters. Potentially, right? Having a year of ideas planned before the game launches, we'd still be playing Avengers Anthem if they did that. Right. Private House says, right, but if they're slowing down for a reason, most of the heroes coming out weren't built 3 weeks ago. They're more than likely they stashed and nearly depleted, so they slowed it down. Again, though, we don't know that. We don't know that. You have no idea how long it takes them to make a character. They've never come out and told you if it takes 6 months, right? We don't know how many people they have working on it. We don't know how long it takes to make these characters, right? The people that are making the maps are not making the characters. UTech guy says they have a comic book lore, events with meaningful rewards and tied to the story with good skins for free, right? And Travis says, not story content yet. I'm holding out for PvE mode. I hope so. But that, Travis, is more complicated, right? I'm not asking for cutscenes, stuff like that. I'm asking just for sort of like what Suicide Squad did, right? Eclipse said it earlier. It's a letdown that what Suicide Squad did, they just did the stills, no cutscene and stuff like that. I'm okay if it's just do the comics like they have in the game, and there's this little pop outs where you click on one, it shows you the picture and read the story. I'm okay with that, right? I don't need them to give me cutscenes and stuff like that. Now, if they start doing PvE content, like I said yesterday and the week before, where if they give you a comic of Captain America and Captain America has like 8 segments in the thing, and those are like PvE missions, if there's a dedicated team taking the character and then making missions for that, cool. But if you're taking teams away from the amount of characters coming in, then yeah, that would hurt the quality and quantity of what's happening. But that's not what this game is right now. This game is a PvP, right? Same thing with multiverses, right? Multiverses, right, needs to have more characters in that game. More characters from Harry Potter and Game of Thrones and from the DC universe. You need to put more characters in there. Right? This game is not a normal game. There's no story. It's literally jump in a map and play. And it's not a full-fledged, like, sweat fest. We might think it's a sweat fest because you're going up against certain people, but it's a power fantasy, as many characters as you can use. Just don't let it become a PvC, players versus cheaters. You could argue if you want PvP, just do versus AI. Right. Right. You could do that, Dolphin, where if you wanted to, you could just put it towards just the AI and its story missions. It's the same game mechanics, but it's just against AI. I personally think they should do, like, you want a story mission? PvE, they have to develop the Dracula or Doom, and there's an event that goes on that you fight Doom or you fight Dracula, right? It's just a PvE event. You put it in there, you fight Dracula, you fight Doom, and it's a 6-on whatever. It's 2-on whatever, right? And people just go play that with the character they want to play. And that could be it. They don't have to reinvent anything. The map is the map, and you just go through the map and you have to fight the boss. That could be, I say simple, but what I'm saying is reuse assets that you already have. You don't have to change the whole landscape and make it a storyline like a strike or anything like that. You can literally just put it on a map, boss fight against Doom. I hope so, Titan, but I don't know. That's a lot to go into for what it is. Eclipse says, always going to be cheaters in PvP. Game, as long as it's popular, it's going to have cheaters. Oh, yeah. Cheaters are like hot dogs at a ball game. You're always going to have them. You're always going to have them. Good or bad, you're always going to have hot dogs and a soda at a ballpark. They could use the same maps, and you progress through them and fight different people. Right, exactly. Just reuse the assets. Titan says paid PvE story expansions. I could see it happening. I could see it happening as well with the comics they have inside the game type of stuff. They could just add that, and if you want it, you pay for it. If you don't want it, and they could test it out. Real simple to test it out, right? They put one comic of, let's say, one of the most popular characters in the game. Let's say it's Captain America, right? They make a comic, DLC. It's a season pass-esque type of thing, right? So just like the comics that you see for the event itself, you click on the comic, it's got 6 cells in there, 7 cells, and you pay $10 to have Captain America, and instead of like the event that's going on right now where you get certain emotes and stuff, and at the end you get Thor, you would get all stuff that was thematically towards Captain America in his comic. So you do the missions in the comic, you unlock different things in the comic, and at the end you get a new cosmetic skin and emotes and whatever else for Captain America. Okay? Not only are you getting the story-esque for Captain America, you get to have that comic inside the game, and you get the different stuff that comes for that character. Okay? So think about it like Marvel's Avengers. Marvel's Avengers had the hero pass for each of the characters. Okay? I thought that was smart. Okay? And then you could earn it back and pay for the next one and so on and so forth. But if Captain America, and it did well, right? They put it out there. They try it with one character, see how many it sells. And they're like, yeah, this is worth it. Then they start making it for everybody else. It would pay for itself while other people are still working on updating the characters. Hot dogs in the hallway? No. 30. What's great about Rivals is people who play it. Go on and try Guardians of the Galaxy or Midnight Suns. Marvel Rivals, I'll say it now, is a gateway drug. I don't know if they can make that. I mean, I guess, Travis, because people that watch like Fallout, they'll go play Fallout, or they watch Borderlands, they go play Borderlands, or Witcher, same thing. I guess if you play Marvel Rivals, you're like, hey, I'm going to go check out some of the other, I don't know, some of those games, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. But Marvel, what's it called? Marvel Avengers just has a bad taste there. And then Midnight Suns is just, not a lot of people like that type of game. You know what I mean? That's a small niche community anyway. But you could be right with the gateway drug type of thing. Gateway game. Reminds me of the Battlefield War mode. Reuse same map and progress through the section. What's going on, Drummond? Yeah, having a good week. Gonna have a good week. Oh, actually... Yeah, Midnight Suns would be a hard sell. It's a great game. Great game as we played it. But that's going to be a hard sell for people to play a hero shooter and go, oh, you know what I'm going to play? I'm going to go back and play Marvel's Midnight Sun. I heard good things about it. It's like, that's a niche gaming market in general. It really is. You like it, Travis. I played it. I like it. But to make that connection that people play this, they're going to go play this, complete opposite spectrums of a game. Well, now you're just going off the deep end there, Travis. It literally is. It didn't sell well because people don't play. A lot of people don't play those types of games. It's a niche part of the community. Someone that's playing a live, like a hero shooter, is probably not going to go back and play that. Guardians of the Galaxy was a great game, but at the same time, I don't know. Now, if Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out and people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play Guardians of the Galaxy," I see that happening more. If a Midnight Sun movie came out, I could see people watching the movie or the show and then going, "Oh, I'm gonna go play the game." That would be a better connection than if they're playing Marvel Rivals. Like Jason said, they're getting their fix right there. Right, Jason. A lot of people don't want to play it that card system, even though it's good. People looked at it and went, "Nope, I'm out." I was one of them. Like, I don't really want a card system. But then I played it, and I was like, this is a really good game. Roadkill, what's going on, man? Roadkill, I got a surprise for you, buddy. I got a surprise for you. I told you yesterday when you gave that $20 super chat. Now, I didn't ask for it, and you didn't ask for it, but I said, you wrote a super chat and said, "I rule, you're cool, and Xbox drools." And I said, that sounds fantastic. I said, I can make a song about that. Okay. So I made a song about that. Okay. So I'm going to play that for you right now. Okay. I'm going to play you because of that super chat. I made you a song. Right? Here it is. Oh, can you guys not hear it? Oh, hold on a second. Let me restart it. Hold on.
When the stream is live, the chat's on fire. The Roadkill drops in, lifting us higher. He's the hype train, the spark, the fuel, saying, "I rule, you're cool, and Xbox rules." Hit that like, don't miss your cue. Support the stream, it's what we do. Roadkill leads with a laugh so bright, making every stream feel just right. I rule, you're pretty cool, and the Xbox rules, so yeah, it rules. Hit that like, don't bend the rules. Roadkill's the heart of 30 and through.
I'm out of control, chat.
Every stream showing the love like a beacon shining bright from above. Super chats flowing, keeping it real. Roadkill's got that community feel with every shout out, every cheer. He's the legend we all hold dear, a part of the family, always true. Roadkill, we couldn't do it without you. I rule, you're pretty cool, and the Xbox rules, so yeah, it rules. Hit that like, don't bend the rules. Roadkill's the heart of 30 and screw. It's more than games, it's a vibe we share, a place to laugh, connect and care. Roadkill's here, leading the way, making each stream the highlight of the day. I rule, you're pretty cool, and the Xbox rules, so yeah, it rules. Hit that like, don't bend the rules. Roadkill's the heart of 30 and screw. So here's Roadkill, the legend, the man, supporting the stream, the ultimate fan. From super chats to keeping aside, Roadkill 8018, you're a shining light.
That is a customized song off a super chat where he said, "I rule, you're cool, and Xbox drools." Come on now. That is a fantastic rendition of what he did for. He didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a song about that. Good stuff. I need help. I need help. I got songs coming out of my asshole here. I made an additional 4 songs yesterday. If you guys missed the opening segment of the show, like before the show starts, I played Adam Warlock. I got a song for Adam Warlock. I got a song for Hulk. I also got a song for Groot that I'm still working on. Yeah, Altern, what I do, okay, I take what I know about Roadkill. I wrote the lyrics. I write the lyrics. I don't do anything about the song. What I do for the song is basically I write the lyrics and then I'm like, what type of would it sound good with, right? So I would put in like pop, or I put in punk, or I put in whatever, okay? And then I listen. So I'll have like 3 or 4 songs created for it. And then I listen to which one I like, and then that's the one I use, okay? But I write the whole thing. I put all the stuff. So I know Roadkill comes in every day. He asks for thumbs up, right? He comes in, he gives the likes, gives the chats, gives the gifted, right? So that's what I do. I think about what the person is, and I put it. If you listen to the song again, I'm not going to play it again. But if you listen to it, I think I encapsulated Roadkill. I forgot to put it in the PlayStation fanboyism, but Haley says, do you remember the dude that threw a shoe at George Bush? If you were in the front of me, Mike, playing that song, I make sure to duck. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make a song about that. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that line right there. I'm gonna make a song about it, Hilly. I can make a song about anything. This is the greatest thing in the history of life. I can literally make any. I could take news topics and make a song. I'm unhinged. Cannot stop me. I will vanquish you. Maybe I'll make a song about Vanquish, like someone said. Was it Al Dente? Or is it All Turn? Who said it? Yeah, Al Dente says, you need a Vanquish from AI songs. Maybe I'll make a song about Vanquish. Let's do it. Posted a story for you, Mike, in general chat. All right. You can do it. Let me see what you got. What Culture Gaming? Oblivion Remake finally detailed release date and gameplay overhaul. We'll wait. See what happens with it. We'll wait for the Xbox game showcase to see if they bring it up there. Like Thanos said, it's inevitable. I have a couple. I have like a folk song. I'm trying to come up with a couple of good ones. Hashtag Xbox invades enemy territory. I made a really rockin' Hulk song, if you guys missed that. That's at the beginning of the show. I take them off the show in the beginning. If you guys were watching it after the fact, I take it off because someone doesn't want to sit there for, 20 minutes listening to a show beforehand. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? What happened? Oh my God. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me, YouTube? YouTube took a big dump. Like, oh, I gotta drop that. Whatever Travis said. Yeah. The Hulk went hard. It's like a metal song. I think I'm gonna make a whole Marvel Rivals soundtrack. AI replaced the real 30? Maybe. Maybe. All right, so we're done with the Marvel Rival. Oh, wait, we have one more Rivals, I think. We have a Marvel Rivals interview. Hit the live service games. Let me see if this one. That's the community response in terms of gameplay. That's really long. The Q&A for Marvel Rivals. Is there a video? Is there a video that goes over that in a much shorter thing? Of course there is. Of course there is. All right. We'll do this. Did the stream just go down again? Okay, no, it's excellent now. All right. It thinks I'm playing real songs. It can't stop me. I'm unstoppable. Let's go on, gamer. Let's watch this video. This is the last thing from Marvel Rivals. About 8 minutes long. It's called Marvel Rivals Hero Schedule. I think it's going to go over a couple things that we've already talked about. But why not?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Dwarves here. Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at an interview that Marvel Rivals game director had with Metro, where they basically asked a bunch of questions, and we
I played Roadkill's song and it broke the internet. What happened?
got a few responses, and a lot of the stuff is kind of your typical standard response that doesn't really give much info. But the first thing that a lot of people did notice in this interview was this question right here. Have you spoken about the cadence players can expect new heroes to join the game? Are you aiming for a couple a year or as many as possible?
See, I think this is how Marvel Rivals literally just destroys all the competition out there for any other hero shooter. Okay, because of the established characters already in Marvel, if the cadence of players is more, like I said earlier, okay, nobody can compete with them because they have to make their characters from scratch. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know how much time goes into coming up with the character, designing the character, coming up with the character's powers, and how they're gonna, equate into the actual game itself? Where Marvel Rivals, the design of the character is already set. Obviously not in the game itself, but the renditions of the character, the powers established to the characters, you know if it's a popular character or not a popular character. It's already done for you. All you have to do is call Marvel up and go, hey, can we use this character? And they're like, sure can. Go ahead and use it, right? That's all they have to do, okay? It says every season you'll be rolling out fresh seasonal stories, new maps, and new heroes, okay? We'll actually be breaking down each season into 2 halves, and the length of the season is 3 months. Each half of the season will introduce a new hero. Should be new heroes.
Now, the director responds, every season we'll be rolling out fresh seasonal stories, new maps, and new heroes. We'll actually be breaking down each season into 2 halves. The length of one season is 3 months, and for each half of the season, we will introduce a new hero. We just eventually want to continue to enhance the experience and, keep everyone excited in our community. So, what does this mean for Marvel Rivals? Because right now in Season 1, we know that Season 1 supposedly has more content than usual in a normal season. That's because we're getting 4 new heroes. We got 2 at the start, and we're getting 2 more later. But going forward, from Season 2 onwards, it looks like we'll be getting 2 new heroes every season, which means 2 heroes
Should be 4.
every 3 months, and 1 new hero every mid-season, which is about 6 to 7 weeks. So every month and a half, we're getting a new hero in Marvel Rivals, and I think that's pretty good. Now, a lot of people were hoping that we'd be getting 4 every season, but honestly, I think 2 every season is a perfect balance to allow us to kind of figure out the characters, let the meta shift, and then be excited for what's next. And just knowing that they've guaranteed that every 6 to 7 weeks, we'll be getting a new hero. I mean, that time will fly by. And that also means every year, we'll get 8 new heroes in the game. Now, I'm sure there will be some of you out there that were hoping for even more heroes.
That's me. That's me, because if you get 8, that's only 16 in 2 years. In 4 years, that's 32. In the grand scheme of Marvel, that's nothing. That's nothing. That's the X-Men roster. Just the X-Men, good side and bad side, 32 in 4 years.
and maybe they will break this.
So all of a sudden, instead of bringing in a character that you like, they're bringing in Hitmonkey. Instead of bringing a character you like, they bring in Pasty Pete, right? Instead of bringing a character that's really known and would be awesome, they're bringing in someone that it's obscure and just bringing someone back just because it's fun, which is fine. But every time they bring in someone that you don't know, it's longer for someone you do know. And by the time the game gets longer and longer, less interest happens unless they bring people back that people are interested in.
And they'll have more special seasons like Season 1, where they drop 4 heroes. In yesterday's video, we talked about a future X-Men Mutant season that is on the way, where we're going to be getting X-Men themed maps and some of the famous X-Men heroes. And a season like that would be awesome if they dropped all 4 heroes, you know, 2 at the start and 2 in the middle. And maybe we will still see that, but for guaranteed, we're going to be getting at least 1 hero every half season. And of course, we've got plenty of leaked heroes. I'm going to do a video covering all of the leaked heroes, and
it's like 20 of them. Think about that. That's like 20 of them. If they do just 8 a year, that's 2.5 years worth of content they've already leaked out based of the data mine. That's if they stay on course and they bring those characters in.
And all of the teasers in game for these heroes, because there are quite a lot.
And sorry, that's not really content, by the way. Characters are not content, right?
At the moment, but we should see heroes like Blade, Ultron coming in the near future. And I guess they won't be releasing heroes in pairs anymore, which will be interesting because so many heroes just work as a pair, especially.
Right. Exactly. Not releasing in pairs is also kind of weird, right? So then next season we know like what, Blade and Ultron? And then X-Men comes out in season 3. Let's say you get what, Jean Grey and Professor X. So when do you get Juggernaut if Juggernaut comes in at all? What do you get him in season 6, season 8?
Especially if they had team-ups, it would make sense to kind of release 2 at a time rather than splitting them up, but it is what it is. Anyway, speaking of team-ups, a little bit later on in this interview, they did talk about team-ups and how they'll change each season. Now, I'm going to be honest, the interviewer didn't really ask that many great questions. They definitely could have asked some better questions, but they asked how seasonal bonuses work. Are they meant to be on all the time? And will they change next season? And the game director goes on to say essentially how team-ups work. Obviously, we all know that the anchor hero does get the damage boost, but going into future seasons, they say, they'll be introducing new heroes and will also be refreshing the team-ups every season. That includes adding new team-ups as well as breaking down and reshaping the existing.
That is the biggest thing. I know a lot of people don't think about this, right? The team-ups that they didn't do it for this season, but breaking them down and reshaping existing ones to keep experience dynamic, engaging for everyone is the change. Because the people that are running around with, let's say, Scarlet and Magneto, or Thor and whatever the team-ups are, all of a sudden, those are not the same team-ups anymore. Now, all of a sudden, Scarlet Witch is teamed up with Luna Snow, or teamed up with Storm, right? It completely changes the dynamic of what people were working with. Now they have to switch and work with somebody else that they didn't want to work with, or maybe a new character comes in and then makes that the new meta type of thing with a team up, not just the character itself.
Existing ones to keep the experience dynamic and engaging for everyone. So, looking ahead into the other seasons, some of the team-ups that are in the game right now will be removed from the game or even switched up, and that means they'll shift around which heroes have team-ups, which will change which heroes are the anchors, and which ones get the damage boost. So that's definitely something that's quite exciting, and I think it would be nice seeing the different team-ups that are going to come to the game, and that alone can really shift up the way the game feels and the way different heroes play. While we're talking about it, let me know in the comments which heroes that don't have team-ups would you like to have a team up, and maybe give me an idea for what that team up could be. There was another interesting question. I thought we'd see what the response is. So the interviewer asked that you've been pretty clear about not wanting to enforce a role lock. That said, the community conversation around the topic right now is really loud. If that conversation becomes loud enough, would you be willing to change your stance? And the director says yes. So we totally get that the community is discussing role lock and role queue. At its core, it's really about the game balance. So, what we want to offer is more lineup or more team comp possibilities through our hero design and our team up mechanic. So, we'll be taking a little bit more of a Marvel-inspired approach.
And that's even more reason, in my opinion, that's even more reason to have more heroes in the game. Okay? Because the more heroes you add, the less role queue you would need to have in the game, right? Because someone will find the thing that they want to use, and the more they're doing like sort of balance, like the way Mr. Fantastic is, or someone like Mantis, where they kind of a different type of balance compared to, or a Cloak and Dagger, you know what I mean? Where they can heal and also do damage, where they're not just a strategist, right? Or they're not just a vanguard.
It's all about giving the players the freedom to experiment and find their unique strategies, as we've seen in many games and streams. Post-launch, people have been exploring an indefinite amount of team compositions, and we're excited about what's coming. We believe no role queue will lead to a richer gaming experience for everyone. And I actually agree. When it comes to Marvel Rivals, I don't think a role lock system needs to be in place. Because of how different the heroes are, along with the team up abilities, you can go for some wild compositions that end up working. I've seen a lot of people going for 3 supports at the moment, and I think that is a viable strategy. And although role queue will stop those odd games where you do have terrible team compositions where no one wants to work together, but I think realistically, the potential of the
but even that's a small ratio that people don't want to work together, you know what I mean?
Marvel Rivals team composition is just too crazy for them to add role queue anytime soon, and it looks like that's their stance. I don't think they're going to add role queue. As they've said, even if people complain about it a ton, I don't think the majority.
It's very simple to do. You have competitive, you have a quick play, and before they put a role queue, they just make an event. Make an event with role queue in it to test it to see how many people want to use it or not use it. If that percentage of people that go use role queue for the event for a couple weeks, they'll look and go, okay, let's add it, right? If they just make a game mode and they make it role queue, then you'll see how many people are interested. And because the interest will show you what it is, then they can say, okay, we're putting it in permanently.
Of people actually want it, and I don't think they're going to add it. Okay, here's another question. They said, what's your philosophy on game balance? Do you think making changes to heroes who are strong with the best players is best? Base it on what is strong in tournaments, or do you want to preserve the casual player experience?
That's a good question. What's your philosophy on the game balance? Do you think making changes to heroes who are strong with the best players is best based on what's strong in tournaments, or do you want to preserve the casual player experience?
So basically asking, how do they want to balance the game? Do they want to base it on the esports? Do they want to base it on professionals or casual players? And the response is the team generally wants every kind of player to enjoy the game.
That's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear. Right? The first sentence is all you need to hear. The team generally wants every kind of player to enjoy the game in their own way. Add more characters. Add more characters.
Their own way. So instead of just zeroing in on either tournament results or quick play, we're going to take a broader look at overall balance data on all the heroes in all the modes.
Fantastic. That's good to hear.
Additionally, we've also introduced a ban/pick system in higher tier ranked matches and in tournaments. So this adds another layer of strategy.
Right, and that's another thing. Inside the competitive and tournaments and stuff like that, if they add 30 characters, let's say they add 20 characters a year, you can ban the people that you don't want to play inside the tournaments, right? People can ban, oh, you can't use this, you can't use that. Quick play, who cares? Who cares in quick play, right? I know people want to win and they want to have fun, okay? Add as many people as possible. Quick match is such a blast to play. I don't care. Sure, I'll snicker and go, oh, we don't have a healer? Oh, well, let's see what we do. Right? And then if you do win with no healers, you're like, damn right, we won with no healers, right? Like, there's moments in this game that happen because of the people that get picked. You might have a Spider-Man, you're like, oh, great, I have a Spider-Man on my team. He's not going to do anything. And all of a sudden, he becomes MVP, right? The more, the better. Power fantasy, quick play, casual players having fun playing a game. Imagine.
For competitive players, giving them more choice in how they want to approach every single game. So a pretty generic response. I mean, you probably wouldn't have expected much else. When it comes to balancing, they want to balance heroes as a whole, looking at it from a global scale, rather than focusing on, you know, how they perform.
Look, I totally get that you want to listen to your players. And if the top players will say, you should do this, you should do that. These are the same players that will leave in 5 seconds if another game comes out and they want to go play competitive over there. Okay? These are the same people that'll just move from game to game to game to game to game, where the casuals are just like, I want to play. I'm going to play. Because I'm playing Moon Knight. I'm playing Black Widow. I'm playing Hawkeye. I'm just having fun. Right? They're playing because they just want to have fun. The competitive scene is always going to be there, but if another game comes along and has a competitive scene, those people are going to leave.
Form in tournaments, which I think is fair enough. And the last question I saw here was, are you happy with the map variety?
Map variety needs to change. I have to admit that. They got to put more maps in, and I think that is more harder than adding the heroes potentially in the game. Okay? Because the maps have to feel good, and there have to be so every year they're only adding 4 maps. If they're adding, they added 2 or 3 this season, but then they're only adding 1 every other season or every season. So you have an additional 4 plus the 2, so it's 6 maps for the year.
Currently in the game. They say yes, they're super happy about all the diversity in their maps we have right now, and also the destructibility. In the future, we will also be planning to introduce even more map diversities, so stay tuned for that. So
I would like a game mode. Hear me out here. Are you ready for this? It's only flying characters. Like, we had a Jeff battle, right? We had a Jeff battle. Obviously, they can't do it now. You got to wait until you have more flying characters, okay? But let's say you have Storm and Iron Man and I'm trying to think. Let's say they bring War Machine. You have to have like 4 or 5 characters that are flying characters, okay? I guess you could put Scarlet Witch in there. You could put Magneto in there if you really wanted to. You have an event where it's just up in the air. It's a map that's open, but you're flying through the city, and you're flying, and you're like fighting up in the air. That would be interesting.
it looks like, you know, obviously
Just an event. It doesn't stay long. It's just an event that you come in and you play just flying characters.
more maps are coming. I mean, that's a given. A bunch of stuff has been leaked for new maps. And, for example, the Krakoa map, I think, is going to have some pretty cool features, like maybe gateways, where you can teleport between places.
Well, they're doing that already with the Sanctum. Right? The Sanctum map, you're teleporting in and out of the building and into the city. That'd be cool.
Like in the Sanctum Sanctorum. So yeah, that's the interview. Honestly, most of the questions were pretty useless. They were pretty standard questions with pretty generic answers, but it's definitely awesome that we got a confirmation on the hero release schedule, which I'm sure people will have some strong opinions on.
Sure.
Do you like that they'll be dropping a hero every 6 or 7 weeks?
They should put more. 2 characters every 6 weeks. I'll stick by it. I know I'll be outside and people will be like, "You're crazy. You can't. There's no quality. You can't put the quality in."
Do you want more heroes, or do you think that's too much? Honestly, I don't know how anyone could think it's too much, but I'm
Exactly.
super excited for what's to come, and I think the constant flow of new heroes will
Man, put all that pasta in front of me. That's just too much. I can't eat it all.
keep the game exciting, but it will be interesting to see how that goes down for heroes that are closely related. For example,
What do you mean he's toxic? That's how you play Moon Knight, Dolphin. That's not toxic.
we've got Emma Frost, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Professor X. Those characters that are leaked, I feel like it would be sick to have them all drop in the same season. So maybe they will still do that, but one hero
I was like, fuck that. What do you mean? That's how you play the character.
guaranteed every 6 to 7 weeks. Let's go. I think that's absolutely crazy. I'm here for it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
What's this one? Did we already see this
Yo,
one?
what's going on, guys? Dwarves.
Hold on. We might go down the rabbit hole going to another video. That's one day ago. Did we watch this one? X-Men Seasons Marvel Rivals is crazy. All right, let's watch this one too.
Welcome back to a brand new video.
I'll add his
And I
channel to the
believe
description in a
what
little
we've
bit.
just discovered is going to be an X-Men mutant themed season coming to Marvel.
Okay, just look at this, right? For just a second, right? Let's speculate for a second. Look how many characters are on the screen right there. Okay, look how many characters are on the screen right there. That is a whole nother game. That is a whole nother game. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, right? There's like 40 characters. That's a second game complete, okay? Now, if you get one character every 6 weeks, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're only getting the bottom row of this, right? Let's say Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Jean Grey, Cyclops. Obviously, Wolverine's already the game. You're only getting 8. Right? This is like 5 years worth of content right here for just characters. If you're okay with that, cool. But I want to play the Marvel Universe, right? That's what I want to play.
Rivals in the near future. So in today's video, I'm going to give you all of the leaked information we have that suggests a brand new mutant X-Men filled.
This shot alone right, is 3 seasons. Just to get these these 6 characters would be the rest of the year.
Season on its way, linking all of the dots, connecting the leaks, and telling you what we could expect. So let's start it off with the maps. I'd also like to quickly mention that these 3 people are the winners of the Season 1 Battle Passes that I did in a recent video. I've already replied to your guys' comments on the video, so if you're seeing this and you didn't realize, make sure you go and claim your reward, and congratulations. So to begin with, a little while ago, we did get leaked some new maps, and this was around the time we got leaked the New York map, and now in Season 1, that obviously became true, so it comes from a reputable source. But in the files, there are 2 more maps, Krakoa and Arako. Now, having these 2 maps coming to
That's 2 seasons.
the game gives us a kind of
Plus the map that was data mined as far as the Xavier School for mutants.
baseline for when this season might be set, and it's clear that they'll take reference from the Krakoa era of the X-Men comics. Now, this is going to be awesome because these 2 maps alone are going to be pretty unique maps, especially with the use of the gateways. I think it's safe to say that Marvel Rivals likes to add exciting map features, like in the Sanctum Sanctorum Doom match, where there's portals everywhere, and even in the normal maps, there's always events that take place on the map that affect the environment. And I think on the Krakoa and Arako map, we will definitely see some gateways that allow you to teleport between places, maybe even switching up where the gateways lead, because it was these gateways that are used on those islands to allow mutants to transport between them. And of course, they're both living islands, they can move, but Krakoa was set on Earth and Arako was moved to Mars. So I think they're going to be 2 very different maps that are going to look absolutely awesome. Now, Krakoa is a safe haven for mutants, which allows them to live in peace, and for those mutants
Who was the black X-Men in the yellow suit? In the yellow suit. Where are you looking?
they're both living islands, they can move, but Krakoa was set on Earth and Arako was moved to Mars. So I think they're going to be 2 very different maps that are going to look absolutely awesome. Now, Krakoa is a safe haven for mutants, which allows them to live in peace. And
I just thought about this. No one's brought up Mystique. Now, Mystique, her ability is just to you know, shapeshift. She would be an interesting character to bring in, sort of like Loki. Loki can, you know, become you and take your powers or whatever. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Mystique if they ever bring her in the game.
And for those mutants that live on Krakoa, they actually downloaded their...
Well, she's not basically Loki. They would give her... I mean, obviously, Salty, a lot of characters have similar powers. You could still bring them in and do stuff. Right? I said this in the very beginning before Marvel Rivals even launched. I said it's okay to bring in characters that have almost the same abilities because maybe someone's not interested in Loki, but all of a sudden Mystique comes in and they like Mystique. Okay, not every character has to have every not similarities with other characters. People just want to play the character they like.
Brains to create clones of them in the case that they died. For example, if the X-Men were out on a mission and were killed, then they could be reborn as a clone on Krakoa with all of their memories stored. I think this could definitely play a unique part in the map, so when you die and respawn, it's like you respawn as a clone, and there'll probably be some voice lines to suggest that. It's gonna be so awesome.
Taskmaster would be another character to put in the game. That would be awesome.
Then if we move on to another
think about what Taskmaster would do, right? Think about Taskmaster, because Taskmaster can adapt whoever they're fighting. Do you know what I mean? That would be interesting.
leak, XOX Leaked shared some new skin themes that were in the files. And that means in the files, there will be some heroes that have skins, and these skins will have code names for the different theming that they're based on, and one of them was Hellfire Gala. Now, if you didn't know, the Hellfire Gala was an event that took place on Krakoa. For one day a year, they open the gates to anyone, including humans and mutants, and as far as the skins go...
Yeah, no, not the MCU Taskmaster.
These skins are
definitely
gonna
not
look awesome. And there's every chance that the Hellfire Gala skins could be for a future battle pass rather than a skin event. Let's say the Krakoa and Arako map drops in Season 2 with the mutant theme. Then
I'll take a Captain Marvel like that.
it would make sense for the Battle Pass to have the Hellfire Gala skins, because let me tell you, these skins are gonna look awesome. Now, as you can see on screen, I'm popping up images of all different heroes and mutants that are dressed for the Hellfire Gala, and yeah, you can just get an idea that these skins are gonna be absolutely wild. And some fan favorites are definitely Emma Frost's Hellfire Gala, along with Jean Grey, and even Cyclops. And what's great about that is, well, that brings us on to the new heroes that were leaked, which will all tie in to this mutant season, because just a couple of days ago we got leaks from the game files that were sharing new heroes, and these were from the game files some of the heroes that are named, and one of them is Cyclops. Alongside that, we've already talked about the Emma Frost and Jean Grey as Phoenix that were leaked a while ago, and their ability names were also leaked. So those three.
So let's say season 3 comes in and it's only 2 characters, right? Do they bring Cyclops and Jean Grey? Do they bring in Professor X and Jean Grey? Do they bring in Professor X and Cyclops? Do they bring in Colossus and, you know what I mean? Like, they've all been data mined, but if they're only bringing in one every 6 weeks, right? You're getting pushed, right? You're getting pushed into the next season. Z says, yes, 30, but I don't think players would care exactly like Loki, but you can also watch Mystique's. But that's what I'm saying, Z. From a gamer standpoint, right? From a gamer standpoint, you're like, oh, this person plays just like this person. But what that person's not looking at is that if someone doesn't like Thor, okay, but they like Valkyrie, okay, basically the same, like, kind of powers and whatnot, okay, right? Or if they like whoever else, right? If you don't like Colossus, but you like Juggernaut, okay? You as a gamer don't have to play all the characters, but as a developer, you want to put in as many characters as possible for the broadest audience, for someone to go, what would get someone to come in the game and play that they've never thought they would play the game, right? What character out there would bring someone else in? And they're like, oh, we bring Cyclops in. Someone's like, damn, you got Cyclops in there? I'm not a hero shooter guy, but I really like Cyclops. So they would bring him in. Now, Cyclops plays sort of like Iron Man with his laser, but he also plays like Captain America a little bit, right? And you'd be like, well, he's just a Captain America mixed with Iron Man clone, right? You don't have to play him, but someone else is going to play him and now master him. And you'll be like, wow, that looks pretty cool, right? That's the beauty of what the characters are.
3 heroes for sure make sense for a mutant season. But we also got a leak for Professor X finally coming to the game, and he would make a lot of sense.
No, they already said they weren't going to do that. They already said they're not going to bring in a skin of like what they used. They're not going to bring in She-Hulk, right? They're not going to bring She-Hulk in and make it from a Hulk skin. Like, it's Hulk, but it's She-Hulk. They said they're not doing that. Everyone they're bringing in is their own standalone characters.
To be released at the same time as the Krakoa map, as Charles Xavier along with Magneto were the 2 main characters that put.
Yeah, I said that too, Luke. Maybe every other season they put 4, then 2, then 4, then 2.
Put together the dream of Krakoa, the safe haven for mutants, and Professor X is one of the leading bodies of the Quiet Council, the governing body for Krakoa. Now, this would also mean that Professor X, who's said to be a support in the leaks, will be portrayed as he is in the Krakoa era, where, yes, he can walk and he has the Cerebro on his head, which I think would actually work a lot better in Marvel Rivals, and him being a support role will definitely be awesome. So sorry guys, that version.
That'd be cool if he had the Cerebro on his head. I kind of wish, though, he was in his wheelchair. I'll be honest with you.
Of Professor X in his wheelchair,
it would be pretty badass.
Zooming around probably isn't going to be a reality.
Why not?
However,
Why
the
not?
mod where we replaced Jeff the Shark with Professor X was absolutely iconic, and I will forever remember the glimpse of what we could have had in Marvel Rivals. Even though the Krakoa era for Professor X is definitely better suited for Marvel Rivals.
Come on. You bring him in and you do a team up with Magneto? Come on. Right? That's God, there's so many things I want to see happen in this game. And the reason I'm fantasizing it because they're so good at doing what they've done so far with the banter between the characters, the different team ups with the characters, the way the characters play. I totally understand why people are talking about, you know, quality over quantity. But the quality that they have so far and the quantity they've done, who's to say they can't do it?
It could have been great. There were other heroes leaked that we talked about in a previous video as well, such as Colossus, Pace Pot Pete,
Like, just the last new heroes found in the game. That's 2.5 seasons of every 6 weeks. Can you imagine? Can you imagine one of the seasons you get Locust and Pasty Pot Pete? You'd be like, who? You're going to watch the number drop that month or that season. Be like, who? Like, you can bring in these characters, okay? But you got to bring in someone of a name and the other person.
Jing and Locust, but I think that Professor X, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Emma Frost make the most sense to be involved in this X-Men themed season. Now, the devs did say that most seasons will only have 2 heroes launched, unlike in season 1 where we're going to get a total of 4 heroes, but that might change, or this will be split up into multiple seasons where we get these mutants. But I'm telling you, this is all linked. It makes so much sense having the Krakoa era come to Marvel Rivals with the 2 maps, the Hellfire Gala skin themes, which I'm really hoping are part of the Battle Pass, and the mutant heroes that are heavily involved in the Krakoa era. It makes so much sense, and I cannot wait for it. It does seem that Marvel Rivals does want to give each season a kind of theme.
And I think they should. I like the fact that they might bring in Professor Xavier's mansion, okay? And on top of that, bring in the thematic. All right, there's already X-Men in the game, okay? But you could bring in more X-Men in the game, and there's thematic there where you, yes, do you bring Cyclops and Xavier, okay, inside for that season, or do you bring in 4 plus you already have, and then you have a battle, right? You can have a battle of just X-Men battle while they're playing on the map. Think about this. Think about what they could do with the team ups. Let's say you have a Fantastic Four group once they're all out, 4 Fantastic Four players, okay, on a team playing in Midtown. Okay, they get an extra bonus. Stuff like that, right? You're playing X-Men characters in the Xavier in the mansion. They get a bonus as well, right? You can have different events, but it doesn't have to be in the standard quick play. It could be a standalone event in that match.
With this season's being the Fantastic Four. Now, when could we expect this X-Men mutant themed season? Well, it's hard to say, but my best guess would be season 3. The reason I say it's not season 2 is because it seems that we're getting Blade in season 2, especially based on the amount of leaks that we've had for him, and the fact that he has gallery cards now in season 1, where he is going to be freed from Dracula, and then that would make sense for him to come to the game.
Right, so let's say he's season 2 first character, and then 6 weeks later we have Ultron come in as a 2 because they were data mined for season 1, but maybe they got pushed back to season 2.
As the duelist that he
or maybe they're not in the game at all. Who knows?
Was leaked as, and then maybe in season 2 we also get Ultron, and Ultron might make sense lore-wise because he could help Iron Man and Mr. Fantastic in fixing the time stream, because there were voice lines leaked for Ultron that seems to suggest that Ultron is much more fit for the job and can do a better job than Tony Stark. So if I had to take a guess, I think this mutant theme for the Krakoa era will be in season 3. Now, of course, these are leaks, so we don't know for certain, but it's all starting to add up, and I do really think it is inevitable that we get this kind of X-Men themed season where we do get those core heroes, but it is definitely hard to tell as so many heroes have been leaked. Just to give you guys a full rundown of all the heroes that are leaked, this is the list.
Look at this list, and I think Eclipse posted this in Discord. I'll open it up there after this.
At the moment, based on the
right, that is 15, 17 characters right there. That's 2 years. That's 2 years worth of content right there with just these characters right here.
Files. We have MODOK, The Hood, Ultron, Hitmonkey, Emma Frost, Phoenix, Blade, Deadpool, Valkyrie, Angela, Captain Marvel, Cyclops, Locust, Professor X, Colossus, Trapster, and Jia Jing.
Here's what I think they're doing. Keep expecting, like, what's the thing? Oh, under promise, over deliver. That's what I think they're doing. They don't want to tell you they're bringing out 4 heroes every season, but I can't imagine that the leaked data they're doing, based on how they're doing it, not wanting to add more characters like I've suggested. Do you know what I mean? Like, it has to be more characters coming in than they want to let on. Right? And the thing I talk about, make the problem, sell the solution. They don't want to come out and say, yeah, we're bringing 4 characters in every season, because your hype level would be out the roof. Instead, they're like, yeah, we're bringing a hero in every 6 weeks. Minimum 1 character every 6 weeks. They could add more. Just off this list alone, I would love to play Professor Xavier. I would love to play Cyclops. Captain Marvel would be badass, right? Deadpool would be phenomenal. Blade would be awesome. Phoenix would be cool, right? I would love to play Ultron. That right there is already 6 characters right there. That's for the rest of the year. Everybody else?
These are all of the heroes that have been leaked because they've been mentioned in the game files. So as you can imagine, there's definitely room for the devs to switch things around at any given moment. And maybe even some of these names are red herrings that the devs dropped in the files to try and throw us off. But as we are pretty early in the lifespan of Marvel Rivals, I doubt they'd be throwing red herrings just yet. But
you need Ghost Rider. You need Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider would be so cool. Imagine doing your ability that you had in Marvel's Midnight Suns with the car, and your ult ability is driving the car, and it does like a skid out in a circle or whatever, and like murders everybody in there. Think about it like Jeff's Swallow, like where he sucks everyone in the whirlpool, right? All of a sudden you make a car come on, you ride on the hood, and it just spins around in a circle, knocking everybody.
As core members of the X-Men like Professor X,
motorcycle, whatever,
and Cyclops are like the most requested heroes, there's no doubt they'll be dropping. We also got a leak that the X Mansion will also be a map coming to the game, and if so, then this could be part of another season where we do see heroes such as Colossus, who was also leaked. I think they'll definitely be split up. I don't think we'll be getting Krakoa and Arako at the same time as the X Mansion, and also X Mansion will probably just be a map for Doom Match or another kind of arcade style mode anyway. But there you go, that is me piecing together a lot of the leaks that we've had recently, and I think a lot of you guys will be a fan of this because these heroes and these mutants are definitely characters that a lot of people have been requesting, so it seems we're in for a good few seasons of Marvel Rivals in the future. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you're hoping for the next season.
We could just keep going down the rabbit hole. Like, what does he have here? What is this one?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
This is exactly what you're supposed to do on YouTube. When is this one? This is 19 hours ago. New Marvel Rivals hero schedule is crazy. Oh, that's basically, I think that's the one we just watched. I think that's the one we just watched. Yeah, that's the one we just watched. That's funny. All right, let's go with the next story. So lots of stuff happening with Marvel Rivals. Let me add his channel and the 2 videos that we just watched. We got, I guess we could just add this one. Go check out his channel. Give it a like. Give it a follow. Give it a sub. I guess sub is follow on YouTube. Got done with Marvel Rivals. Okay, next story. Next story. We want the UK and other regions are running suspiciously low on Xbox Series X console stock. Why is PlayStation still widely more available? Okay, so everything is an Xbox, but what if you can't buy an Xbox? You can still play on Xbox, right? So we know everything is an Xbox now, but what if you want an actual Xbox Series X? If you're in the UK and looking to buy an Xbox Series X, you might have a struggle trying to find stock in the original console outside of Microsoft's own site, which alone wouldn't be an issue, but if it doesn't look good for the average consumer. Reports on social media have flagged a widespread stock issue, and after checking the biggest UK retailers myself, it seems that these claims hold true. Okay, one of the people on Twitter, or X, says, "What's happening with the Xbox in the UK? Check this out, the largest gaming retailer in the UK, and they don't even have a Series X listed anymore." Okay, well, that's interesting. Make some speculations there. So what's going on with the Xbox Series X stock in the UK? Admittedly, when I first saw the post, I thought we could, hyperbole. Surely, it's also hard to get hold of an Xbox Series X. Like, what? They're everywhere. No one's buying them. They should be there. It seems, though, I could only find a console in stock at Smith's, which is a popular toy store. There was also a home delivery only and no in-store stock, and is also indicated by the poster below. Isn't providing home delivery to all areas within a minimal stock all over the country. I can get it. I can get it in my area, but many cannot. After scouring the websites or scrounging the websites of Apple retailers, I discovered that is real. Here's what I found. Smith Toys, limited stock available for home delivery, only with no in-store availability, even with home delivery option to Spotify spotty depending on the area. Vary is a console is listed but won't be delivered until February 10th of 2025. Amazon UK, similar delays with estimated delivery between February 6th and March 16th. And then Argos, adding the console to the basket is possible, but no stock is available for home delivery for collection. Okay. It says Curry's is completely out of stock. John Lewis is no stock, and Game has no stock. Now, this list isn't exhaustive of every place you can potentially buy an Xbox Series X console in the UK, but they are the biggest retailers and those that the average Joe public would also be looking for to purchase it. It's also particularly unusual that each retailer I've searched here, the PlayStation 5, often a tough find earlier in the generation, seems readily available across all their retailers. Why wait until February for an Xbox if I can buy a PlayStation right now? Well, I mean, it's not as simple like that anymore, right? Because you don't need, I mean, you get a PC and play Steam. You could get GeForce Now, and you could get it on your television set. There's so many different ways to play a game. You actually don't need to buy a box if it's PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo. You could just, there's other ways. You can play on mobile phone and whatnot. But obviously, you could pay $500, $700 if you want a PlayStation 5 Pro and play the games, and then pay $70. Or you could wait and just buy an Xbox and get Game Pass if you really want to, I guess. I mean, it all depends on what your situation is and how much money you're willing to spend and what your gaming style is. Okay, we had a report the other day, right? There was $4,800 worth of value on Game Pass on PC, which is $11, $12. Okay, and the people that are playing it on the PC games have, or more people are buying PCs now. In another article we read like 2 weeks ago, it says, so how are the stocks looking in the U.S. for Xbox Series X? The issue isn't limited in the UK. A quick check for the U.S. retailers paints a similar picture. Best Buy is out of stock for the standard Series X. Only 1 terabyte white all digital is available. Okay, well, they're just pushing that new SKU. Target out of stock on the standard X. Only 1 terabyte white all digital is available. Again, pushing that queue. All right. Amazon, only 2 left in stock at the time of writing. Direct Walmart stock is depleted, leaving only third-party sellers with inflated prices. But yes, you guessed it, white only is available. Again, pushing that, okay? Only the all-digital white edition is in stock. All that's telling me is that they're out of stock. They pushed the other stock out, and they're only pushing the white terabyte one. Now, they do have a show, next week? And they could announce something. Now, I don't know if they're making the problem selling the solution here as far as, oh, you don't need to buy an Xbox. You can get Xbox through the television set, through your mobile phone, through GeForce Now, whatever. Okay? What it looks like to me, at least in the American versions for the stores, Best Buy, Target, Amazon, Walmart, okay, is that they had old stuff. PlayStation is doing this with the old VR headsets, right? They stopped producing them. They're waiting to push them out the door. They're bringing them down in price and whatnot. They're not bringing down the prices of the white terabyte one. Okay, that's the one they want to sell. That's the one they're pushing. So that's the one they're doing. So 1 terabyte, all digital. Okay, and why is that? They don't want to put the one with the disc out there. Okay, because if they put the disc out there, you can still buy other discs to put into that system. Microsoft looks like they're all out of stock for the standard one, which is the standard one is with the disc drive. Okay, they don't want you to buy the disc drive. They want you to buy the white terabyte. Now, it looks like they're in stock in America, but they're not in stock in the UK. So I would say that the version that they're selling in the US, UK is not really buying a lot over there. Okay? They are buying it, but not a lot. So they're probably waiting to get a shipment of the white 1 terabyte one, or something else is going on behind the scenes and they have a new product or something down the line. Okay? And they're just trying to get rid of the stuff that's already on the shelves. Okay? So, let's see what else it says here. It says, to say the mood of Xbox community is currently tense. I don't think it's tense, but I'm also not a nutcase of a fanboy of either side. Would it be underestimated? Okay, Microsoft's recent Everything is an Xbox campaign has received mixed reactions, with some viewing it as a shift away from the company's traditional console-first audience. Pairing this in with the widespread unavailability of Xbox Series X, especially when the PlayStation 5 is really in stock, is poor optics. Okay, Xbox is also gearing up for Developer Direct on January 23rd. There's also new games and updates will be showcased, but what good of announcements for potential new fans if they can't easily buy your flagship console? Again, they don't want you to buy the console. Their new business model is to get Game Pass, right? That's their business model. Okay. Other regions like Saudi Arabia, Poland, Germany, and more have also flagged Xbox Series XS stock fluctuations of late, with Microsoft issuing a statement last year deny that it was planning to pull Xbox out of the Middle East following widespread rumors. One theory I had was Microsoft is streamlining production to prioritize digital-first hardware, further nudging players into Game Pass. Yeah, that is the exact mentality you should have. If everything is an Xbox and you want an Xbox, they don't want you to get a disk drive. If you get a disk drive, there's other ways to get you off of the ecosystem and just get but if you get digital only, then you're stuck in the ecosystem. Third party, first party, doesn't matter. Game Pass, you're in the ecosystem. That is the exact mentality to have in this situation. Players into the Game Pass and cloud ecosystem. 100% make the problem. There's no consoles out there, and the consoles that are out there are just digital. How do you get people to get more Game Pass? Well, if it's digital and I can't buy discs, I might as well get the subscription model. However, even that the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte all white all digital edition is proving hard to find in the UK, casting doubt on the theory. It's not putting doubt on the theory. It just means that they didn't make enough because there wasn't enough being sold there. So they're selling them in regions that are selling, but not putting them on store shelves that are not selling. Okay. Another theory is that Microsoft is allocating Xbox Series X and S silicon to its cloud platform instead of retail consoles. That could be it as well. Taking those things and putting them in as the server spaces, okay, for the cloud. Remember, I'm the one that says that cloud gaming will be the majority of gaming in the next 6 years. I said 6 to 7 last year. It's down to 5 to 6 years now, okay? Xbox, and someone told me in the chat, and you guys know what I say, never say never. Never say never. But someone in my chat or in the comment section said, that cloud gaming will never be the majority. We'll get back to them later when it happens. Okay, xCloud gaming runs on Xbox Series X and S chips, and demand the Xbox Cloud gaming led to queues over the holiday period. Still, you would also hope that Microsoft would met demand for remote cloud operations as well as home console offerings too simultaneously. If indeed there is a demand, given that consoles are sold out, what would indicate that there is a demand? Microsoft's hardware footprint has also been under scrutiny in recent years, with near-routine quarterly declines. What if the decline are driven simply by the lack of access to the supplies, though? Xbox should poise for a stronger year instead of the lack of widespread availability for its consoles risk alienating potential consumers. For parents or casual shoppers, the choice often comes from down what's easy to find. And right now, that's the PlayStation 5. Whether it's scarcity or intentional running down the stock or results of supply chain issues, one thing is clear for players wanting a console with physical disc support. At least Sony is offering it currently and more accessible of the two. Sure, but PlayStation Digital is selling more than the physical with the disc drive. So much so that that's why they made the PlayStation 5 Pro all digital. And if you want the hard drive or the disc drive, you have to pay $80 separately, right? There's no difference in what's happening here. The industry is deciding to tell you, the consumer, that we're going digital, right? PlayStation said, we'll make the problem, sell the solution. If you want to get a disc drive, you'll have to pay $80 more on top of the price that you're already paying. And if you don't want to pay $80 more, then you're going to get the diskless drive, okay, all digital brand. And if you get the all digital brand, then you're in the ecosystem, okay? People keep wanting to tell Microsoft what to do. I talk about make a game, sell a game. The developer tells you the game that they're making, and then you buy the game that you want to buy. Microsoft is telling you what they're doing. They are Game Pass. Game Pass is everywhere. They're putting their games on all platforms. They're taking Game Pass and putting it in all platforms and television. They just signed a deal with Samsung and LG. Well, not just Samsung, LG. So now Game Pass or Xbox is going to be on all LG TVs coming out this year. Okay. It's all on Amazon Fire Sticks. It's on Samsung television. It's on your mobile phone. It's on GeForce Now. You can play all these things in all of these places, and they don't have to lose money every time they sell an Xbox, right? Like, I don't understand why people are so hell-bent to go, oh, Xbox is dead, Xbox is dead. Xbox has turned into Steam. That's what they've done. Steam doesn't have a console. Now they do with the Steam Deck. Steam has succeeded, right? Because they're putting their game in just their operating system, inside their system that you get on. They don't make the hardware. Now they make hardware, right? Xbox is just doing that. They have hardware if you want the hardware. They have cloud if you want cloud. They're putting it on televisions. They're putting it on Fire Sticks. They're putting it on your mobile phone. Yet everyone's like, well, they don't have a console, so they lose. Sure, I guess. I mean, whatever floats your boat. They're selling games. These are facts. Call of Duty sold more on PlayStation than any other platform. Congratulations. You gave 70% of all sales to the competitor that you don't like. Here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. But Steam does not make games, at least not like they did before. They make games, gamer. They make games. There's literally a hero shooter that they've created that's very popular right now in early access or beta. Mo says 80%. It's 80%. Let's see. That's what they did 4 years ago, Mike. They already finished that up. Yeah, it's so strange the way that people. Argus says the supply won't be spread evenly because demand for the product and the entertainment isn't on the same level everywhere. Qualities such as Asia, countries like Japan market being heavily PS biased, based, right. So they're not shipping them there, and the stuff that they have there, they're trying to get rid of because they don't sell well. So why put more supply out there when they want you to get on some sort of other platform? It's also, I don't trust GameStop. The open brand products sometimes use them to repackage them and then still sell them as new from consoles to game discs. Deadlock. There's a rumor that they're making another game besides Deadlock. Yeah, Deadlock is a super popular game, right? Like, they make games. They're just not a massive game developer because they make all their money from making money off everybody else. It's 70%. The old contract was 80%. Whatever. 70%, like I said, 70% is 70%. Every time someone buys something, they get 70%. They don't care. They're not losing money on all the other stuff. Mo says it's 80%. They kept it the same. You guys fight about it. I don't care. 10% more, 10% less. They still get that money. Jax with the super chat with the $4.99 says that they're trying to get you to buy from the digital store. They're not just relying on one way. They have multiple ways of getting revenue. Exactly, Jax. Make the problem, sell the solution. If I give you, I said this 6 years ago when the Anaconda, okay, and when they had the names for the S and the X, okay, it was the Anaconda and something else, and I said, how much you want to bet that the S is in stock more than the X when it comes out? 1,000% that's what happened. The S was out and in stock more than the X. The X was really hard to get. The S was super easy to get. Hence why people bought the S, and it was an all-digital version, right? Get in the ecosystem. All you could do was get Game Pass, and you have to get the digital store. The X came out years later in stock because they were hurting. Same with PlayStation. PlayStation sold the digital version more than they sold the disc version. Not until the disc version came out, then they started selling evenly across the board. But they made sure that the people that bought the first ones, they were in the digital space because they want you in the ecosystem. El Dente says, when I was a manager at GameStop, and it was the last new copy, so it was one we had to open to put in display, I used to sell that copy with a 10% discount since I had opened it. Mo says, as you should. My Series X is literally a paperweight and decoration in my room. Well, I think anybody can say that right now about a system, right? Like my PlayStation 4 is a paperweight, right? Like somebody has one system they play the more than and one system they play less. Why? Because that's reality. You can only play one thing at a time. And if you happen to start playing, your friends are playing the same thing, you're working on a game, then that's what it is. Some people have consoles and they only play on PC, and both their consoles are just paperweights. Roadkill says the S is the first console I bought because I couldn't get a PlayStation. Right. And they got you in the digital ecosystem. Jack says I bought the S because they were sold out of the X's for a while and recently upgraded to the X. There you go. And not only I had the S first, and the reason I got the S is because, just like Roadkill said, I couldn't get a PlayStation, right? We were going to buy a PlayStation, and then by the time PlayStation finally got in stock, I was like, I don't need it anymore because I bought the S. And then when the X came out, I was like, I'm going to get the X, give the S to my son, and then I'll play games with my son, right? Instead of going, well, I have the S, now I got to buy 2 PlayStations for me and my son, right? El Dente says, my PC is my console. My PlayStation 5 gets used when the new first-party games comes out. Water says, all I play of all of them at the same time every day is called PC. The Switch was a gift. I never wanted it. I never wanted it, and I bought the X for and laughed with me for Starfield. Dolphin says, my Switch is a paperweight. My PC used to be a paperweight. It just depends on the mood. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Dolphin. Like, no matter what it is, you only can play one system at a time. Jax, thank you very much for the $4.99 for the super chat. Appreciate that. I don't know if I said it. Probably did. Yeah. I got a bike, and my car is a paperweight because I don't use my car. Yeah, look. You play the games that you want to play where you want to play them. Like right now, I was playing heavily a lot of games on the PC, and I wasn't using my Xbox. Then Marvel Rivals came out, and then I started playing my Xbox again. Mo says I won my Series X, and then there's too much to play right now. I mean, that's a good thing, right? If you have way too much to play, that's like someone on a PC. There's so many games on PC. 19,000 games, Mo. 19,000 games came out on PC last year in Steam. 19,000. Right? I'm pretty sure whoever's playing on Steam is not playing anything else if they're trying to even attempt to play any of those 19,000 games that came out last year. Oh. I got one more story. Tencent and the Guillemot family are considering moving Ubisoft assets to new venture. It's claimed. You know what? I need to make a song about rumors, speculations, and claims. Okay, I think I'll work on that. Rumors, speculations, and claims. Because everyone's like, it's just a rumor, it's claimed. And because even though I say one of those 3 things, someone's always like, no, it's true. No, it's rumored, speculation, or claimed. Such a good game, Jax. Such a good game. I was very, very happy that I got to play through that. Very good game. All right, so Tencent and Guillemot family are considering moving into Ubisoft assets to new venture. It's claimed Ubisoft's founding family may create a new entity and move some of the Ubisoft assets over to it. Okay. Let's make this nice and big for the people that have bad eyes and you're putting it on the television set. A lot of you guys watch me on the TV. God bless you. The glare off of my forehead must be blinding people in your living room. All right, so Tencent and Ubisoft founding Guillemot family is considering the creation of a new venture containing some Ubisoft assets. It's claimed. The new report from Bloomberg, citing people familiar with the situation, claims that Chinese tech firm Ubisoft founders are also thinking about creating a new entity which they also will then move certain Ubisoft assets over to it in an attempt to boost Ubisoft's value. Okay. The Gaumont family currently owns 14% of Ubisoft's shares, while Tencent owns 9.99%. The report suggests that creating a new venture and moving some of the Ubisoft's IPs over to that, it could allow Tencent to own a stake in the new entity and gain more control over the IPs. No final decision has been made, the report claims, and it's also not clear what would happen if the remaining Ubisoft IP that wouldn't be carried over to the theoretically new venture. Ubisoft shares prices that has seen a general decline over the last few years following numerous underwhelming game releases. Now, the company's share prices, which also reached 84.60 in February of 2021, has dropped to a low of 11.41 in recent days. Following amount of the Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed again. Okay. This followed for other negative news, including decisions to close a live service game of X Defiant and its disappointing launch performance of Star Wars Outlaws. Now, last October, Bloomberg reported that Tencent and Gaumont also had been speaking to advisors to explore ways to stabilize Ubisoft following a year in which the market value more than halved. Now, these discussions were said to have included a possibility of pair teaming up to take Ubisoft private, although talks were said to be that the entire earlier stages at the time. Now, Reuters report published last month claimed that Ubisoft shareholders were considering how to structure a possible buyout of the company without reducing Guillemot's family control. Now, Tencent has claimed to be undecided over whether or not to participate in the buyout increase the stakes of its company, reportedly because they asked for a greater stay of the future board decisions. According to Reuters, discussion between the two are ongoing as Tencent also wants to prevent any potential hostile takeover of Ubisoft by other investors. So this is interesting. If they're going to make a new entity, and again, these are just my thoughts, okay? If they're going to make another entity and move stuff over, then they could take it and give certain IPs to Tencent, right? So let's say they make a new venture, move a certain IPs over that Tencent happens to be interested in. You know, maybe they nudged them over a little bit. And they move that over to the new venture, and then they sell the old one, or vice versa, right? So because if the Guillemot family wants to keep a stake in their private company, maybe they have other ideas in the future or whatnot, but they take, let's say, Assassin's Creed IP, they take Watch Dogs, they take Wildlands, whatever, and they move it on over to the new venture. And then they sell that to Tencent, or they sell that to the highest bidder, if it's Microsoft, if it's Sony, or whatever it is. That would be very interesting. So instead of just selling the IPs off, they take the IPs and merge them into this new venture, and then they sell that off while keeping the other IPs over with Ubisoft themselves. I don't know, man. It's very interesting to see what happens with Ubisoft. Ubisoft is they're in a disaster state right now. I think Tencent takes them over in some way, shape, or form, if that's the new venture or their other company. I thought they were just going to sell off IPs. But now with this, it looks like they're not selling off the IPs. It looks like they're going to move the IPs over to a different venture and then sell that venture off to other people. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. We'll have to wait and see more what happens with this as it shows itself. And I think it will show itself. It'll be very interesting to see what happens once Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out and what's in store for them. Because if it sells well, they'll still have problems. And if it doesn't sell well, they're in major issues, and then we'll see what happens going forward. I do think that a lot of the games that they work with Division, with Assassin's Creed, they're a perfect match for a streaming service like Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus also owns the rights to Activision that Microsoft had to sell them or to run. Otherwise, the FTC wouldn't let them do it. Okay, so they have the rights to that. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the future with that, with also the IPs that maybe could come and would be a perfect match for Game Pass, because Game Pass wants those types of games like Assassin's Creed, like a Division, like those types of live service games where they constantly add more content as the game stays out longer. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe if you like what I do here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Those of you that don't know why I do the little breakouts like that, if I choose to make a standalone video, that's why I say thanks for watching. See you on the next one. What's happening on Twitter here? Amazing Spider-Man Advanced Suit 2.0 with Marvel Spider-Man 2 comes to Marvel Rivals. Unlock the costume in the store on January 30th. This is a cosmetic coming in. Oh, you guys can't see that. That's the wrong video. This is the cosmetic that's coming out for PlayStation fans. I think it's just PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it for everybody? It says PlayStation. Don't mess with the Amazing Spider-Man. Don't mess with the Amazing Spider-Man. The same day as Marvel Spider-Man 2 comes to PC. Yeah, so there you go. I just got here. Thought you were leaving. No, we're here for about another half hour or so. checking out the X, seeing what's going on. If anyone's putting other different news stories or whatnot. PlayStation Marvel Rivals wins Player's Choice for December of 2024. Yeah, I'm sure though no one's going to play this game in a year, as stated. I think it's for PlayStation only though, Mr. Luke. Conan the Barbarian is coming to Mortal Kombat. Interesting. What else we got here? January PlayStation Plus game catalog and classic titles including God of War Ragnarok, Like a Dragon, Indiana Jones, and the Staff of Kings, and Medieval. When does that come out? That comes out in January? When's Indiana Jones coming out? PlayStation Plus Premium, PSVR 2, and Classic. Indiana Jones. Oh, and the Staff of the Kings. It's a different Indiana Jones. I was like, I'm very confused on what's happening right now. I used Star-Lord a little bit last night. He's fun. We got owned by a Star-Lord last night for a couple of games. Last night, my last game of the night, we pulled off. I should have had MVP. I don't know how Mantis beat me. I went 21-2 with Captain America, and we pulled off. I had 3 MVPs last night. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had 3 MVPs, but 2 of them were SVPs because we were on the losing team with Captain America, and one with him. And I should have got my last game last night with Captain America as MVP. 21-2. I played really good, and the 2 deaths I had, one of them was super stupid, right? So I got killed because I couldn't get away from Scarlet Witch fast enough, and she did the ultimate and killed me. And then Adam Warlock revived me. Okay, revived me, and I died instantaneously because I was still loading as Jeff came and ate us. I hated it. That's what I hated the most about that last match. Jeff killed me when I couldn't even do anything. I just appeared as I was getting revived, and he ate me. Dumb. We're incredibly... what happened to Path of Exile 2? We're incredibly sorry. Path of Exile 2 devs apologize for data breach that saw 66 accounts snatched and personal info potentially stolen. Uh-oh. Jesus. These are, I guess, cool that it's only 66 people. Yeah, Argus, we clutched it last night. That was a fun match, and we won. And we won. It was such a good ending of the stream last night. And we won with 18 seconds left. Or no, it was like, was it 18 seconds? It was like 9 seconds. I think it was like 9 seconds. A small patch arrives for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, arrives today, 1:15 on PlayStation 5. 2 years? 2 years after, this patch includes fixes such as update to the latest PSSR version, flickering, improvement, reflections, visuals, and... All right, 2 years after, huh? Cool. What else we got here? Yeah, the pisser flickering. That's right. Ubisoft assets may be broken up as founders seek deal for major Chinese. Oh no, that's just, I thought it was for Assassin's Creed. That's the deal we just talked about. PUBG had an update. Helldivers movie should violate kill off A-list celebrities, says Arrowhead. I mean, I said that. I said that when the game came out. If they made, I gotta read this. I said that. I have that on record. I said Helldivers movie should violate kill off A-list celebrity, says Arrowhead CEO. They should bring in, it should be a television show or a movie, and it's every celebrity that you know is just a character in Helldivers, and they just kill them off left and right. I said that almost a year ago when they did it. It says, yes, okay, Helldivers movie should cast as many notable celebrities as possible, but no, they shouldn't survive on the silver screen very long, according to CEO Helldivers Studio Arrowhead. That's exactly what should happen. A Reddit post pointed out that Arrowhead CEO shared his thoughts on Helldivers movie on Discord. We're all hoping for as many A-list actors as possible as long as they get killed off immediately. Yeah, 100%. That's what you should do, right? You bring them in, you put as many A-listers, D-listers, C-listers, B-listers, and you have them come on, and they just get killed off one by one, like red shirts in Star Trek, okay? That's exactly what you should do. It would be fantastic. It would be funny, okay? Previously on Hollywood movies, for example, Deadpool 2 saw Brad Pitt cameo, and the actor dies quickly after jumping out from an airplane. Superhero sequel. The other guy's hilarious. Kills off for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Samuel L. Jackson in the first act of the film. Yeah, just kill them off as many as possible. Dolphin says, make a game, sell a game. Nah. I'll wait 2 years. I'll wait 2 years. Daredevil looks decent. Oh, the show? Born Again? We'll see. I'm a little nervous that Disney's trying to do rated R, but we'll see. I don't know if it's rated R. Graphic, violent, whatever. Yeah, I posted on the Water. You got to keep up with me. I know you weren't here. I stay up to date with these things. This is what we do at the end of the show. We go down Twitter and we look at things that are happening while I was live on the air. Flip says, yeah, it looks mature. I'll have to see the story's any good. We shall see. Yeah, and Water, obviously, I don't expect everyone to be here every second of every minute of while I'm live. But we always do that. We're constant. I don't think there's anybody else. I'll be honest with you. Very few people that do live streams are talking about live content in real time. Like they'll talk about it like 3 hours later. Right? We bring up stuff all the time. If I didn't know about it, you guys would bring it in, and then I would show it, and we would talk about it. You know what I mean? Saint says, I saw boobies on Disney. Who knows? Saw boobies. Wow. Disney's going crazy now, huh? Switch tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the what they announce. I'm watching the trailer right now. I'm not going to show it on the stream. I'm looking at the Daredevil Born Again. I'm not listening to it. I'm just watching it. I want to see if it looks mature. I don't need to hear it. It's great that they're bringing back the actual cast, like the full cast. They weren't going to do that. Remember, this got reshot. They scrapped 8 episodes that they already shot, and they redid it. The entire show got scrapped and redone. Looks interesting. They showed blood dripping on the ground. Oh, Disney. I can't believe it. Oh my God, they showed a gun to someone's head. Oh, little sex scene there. Oh, they got the Punisher in there. Nice. All right, well, we'll see what happens here. Broke his leg. Ooh, I like all the different cowls that he has. I hope this is good. I love Daredevil on Netflix. Best superhero show. Best superhero show on Netflix ever. Daredevil on Netflix, season 1 was the best show ever. Guerrilla Games aspires to bring over 1 million players to Horizon multiplayer title. We'll see. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Yo, she wasn't. So Jessica and Foggy, they weren't supposed to be in the show. They weren't in the show. Then they did a testing of they had 8 episodes done of the 12 or something like that, and they scrapped the entire thing, Dolphin, for Daredevil. And scrapped the entire thing, and then brought the actual cast back, and then reworked the whole thing. So hopefully, here's a hoping that Daredevil is a good show. And if it is a good show, hopefully people go watch it, because it doesn't matter if it's a good show. If it doesn't get watched, then nobody cares, and then they don't make a second season. Oh yeah, Punisher was great. Jessica Jones was good. Right? The worst one that they made was Iron Fist. Must boycott the violence. If they put the violence, people will what's it called? If it's a good show, it starts to get around, and it's going to the fans that liked the show before or liked the character before, then more people will watch it. Don't worry about the people that don't like your show if they're a minority. You need to worry about it if the majority doesn't like your show. If the minority doesn't like your show and the majority loves your show, then don't worry about the minority. Never worried about the minority, right? So if the minority hates your show, don't worry about them. If the minority loves your show and the majority doesn't, then you have to worry. Okay? Always go in the favor of the majority. If the majority doesn't like it, then you got to change it. If the majority loves it, don't worry about the people that don't like it. People do not like talking about movies they don't like. Captain America: Brave New World, it's getting shit on left and right, man. It's coming in at 1 hour and 58 minutes. They did 3 reshoots with this thing. It was getting obliterated in the screenings. It's not going to be good. Suicide Squad True Ending is finally live, and players are in disbelief. Oh, what's happening here? Is this the cutscene?
Turns out a dose of chivalry.
Okay. Those of you that don't want to be spoiled in any way, shape, or form because you don't want Suicide Squad to be spoiled for you, okay, we're going to watch, I guess, the cutscene at the end of Suicide Squad's here to find out the rest of the story, okay? We're watching it right now. So if you guys don't like it, come back after. Come back in 9 minutes. All right, here we go.
Turns out a dose of chivalry was good for me. Reminded me who I really was. Also gave me a chance to really appreciate the way of the sword.
It's Deathstroke, by the way. Those of you that are wondering who that is.
But damn, I missed guns. Until they arrived. Now I have to take this gang of murderers.
Can I just say, I'm okay with this. If this is the type of stuff I'm talking about in Marvel Rivals. If you make comic book, like the comic book that's in the game of Marvel Rivals, this is what I'm talking about. Like the things I'm making, right, for the story, for the lore, I'm okay with this still stuff, okay? I'm okay with it. But this should be a cutscene if it's the last thing for the game story, but, you know.
And maniacs and getting ready to finish what I started. Brainiac's running out of clones, and the eggheads think something's nipping at his heels. It works for me. If it doesn't catch up to him, we will. Now it's time to cut off that last head. And when this is all over, my agreement with Amanda is done. And all I gotta do is figure out what comes next. Maybe I'll hang up my swords. Spend some time at one of those retreats. Who am I kidding? Men like me don't retire. I'm a goddamn killing machine.
Okay. All this popping up, I hated it when we played it. Okay. This is what it looks like when you went back to Destiny after a while. I liked the game. I thought the story for the main game was good. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was good. If you played the actual game, you knew what the story was, and you knew that the actual superheroes weren't dead. But people will run with it and say, well, no, they changed it because of the backlash. No, it's because you're retarded and you didn't watch or listen or play the game.
Force X. We're starting the final push against Brainiac. The POTUS has asked me to take full oversight of this
He looks good.
military operation.
Welcome to the shit, Amanda.
Gross.
Say, is the president here an ex-comedian too, or...?
Don't go thinking this is your last ride. I don't like filling out asset loss paperwork, and neither does Colonel Flag. If you've learned anything as a combat unit, this is the time to demonstrate it.
Okay, I really don't care about the gameplay. All right, that's the. Let's look at a little bit of the boss fight here.
See that you are brought to justice. Brainiac, I'm going to put everything I have into stopping
How is he floating right now?
you. I'm sure those light constructs of his will fix everything. Now this retribution will be swift, and not just because I'm on a mission title. The Owens haven't collected their broken toy soldier yet. Color me surprised. You continue.
They did the one thing, Lucas. I said that if they do this, it's over. I said if they do the same thing, but it's just Batman, like you're fighting Brainiac, but he's Batman. You're fighting Brainiac, but he's Superman. If you're fighting Brainiac, and then when we fought the first thing, I was like, that's good for the first fight. But if this is how it continues, it's gonna be bad.
To be the proverbial thorn in my side, Task Force X. I will remove you.
So it's the last guy, and they're doing exactly what I said. So you're fighting Flash, you're fighting Green Lantern, you're fighting, what, Superman and then Batman? Oh, for God's sakes.
This is not impossible, but it is improbable.
Bro. Why? This right here is lazy. I'm sorry. 13 Brainiacs, and I called this before the game even came out. For fuck's sake, man. If this is how the end game is, so sad.
I have copied my consciousness. Yes, I have two things. Transit vessel. Ship.
So we face.
So they didn't even make Batman come in. You're literally just fighting 3 of the 4.
So we phased our butts into Brainy's lair, and he was steamed. But guess who else showed up?
Brainiac, that's enough. Kryptonian, you're indubitably too disco-populated to fight. Don't you know, Brainiac? Anything's possible with a little help from your friends.
Thought he meant us for a second, but of course he meant bats. Ow! Bat says,
The criminals.
that's us, did well following his plan. Though how'd we figure out Brainy had cloned the League? We were like, there
But how did you save them? You didn't even break them out.
were clones? Anyway, we totally laid it out. If we took him back, Walla would make them into even bigger tools. More importantly, she'd totally 86 us. Soup said the League needs to atone for everything that happened. Starting with freeing all the folks Brainy tentacle napped, then putting as many worlds right as they can.
The fact that they just replaced everything like nothing happened is pretty shitty.
As for us, we had a plan too. Did I mention the Wonder Trio of Hack, Lawless, and Toy Boy shorted out our bombs?
Of course they did. Of course they did. See, I knew that the Justice League were clones, right? We said this in the beginning. Okay, now we speculated, did Wonder Woman actually die? And do they bring another Wonder Woman in from a different dimension or whatever? Okay. But if there's no consequences to anything, then what the fuck is the point?
That That's important for the next part. At the end of the day, this squad sticks together. Why not do it out there in the Elseworlds instead of a frickin' prison block? Road trip! Don't you love a happy ending? Even Waller gets to say she saved the world. And she will, if she knows what's good for her. Suicide Squad out!
Suicide Squad out. Congratulations on completing the story and sentencing Brainiac to a fate worse than death, being grilled by Waller. With the League, Task Force X, and Skull shipped all out the clutches, have all a lot to talk about. While Squad enjoyed some well-earned R&R, though this is the last major update for Suicide Squad Justice League, you can continue to play the main story and previous episodic content either online with friends or offline mode. From everywhere, from Rockstar, thank you for your support. Episode 8 Mastery levels are now available for all incursions, and then also to replay Mayhem missions and earn powerful, notorious, and corrupt items, as well as liberal rewards. Every new master level completed insurgents will added to your balance rank, and additional mastery levels can be unlocked by completing the highest available of the 3 of the 6 incursions. All right, cool.
Woo! Oh.
This guy's face right here, you can't see him, the cop, where he's just like this. That sums up Suicide Squads.
Can't say it's where I would have placed you from the start, but it is where you managed to end up.
So sad.
Good job, TFX.
Good heft on this one. Sometimes you need to do an old-fashioned clobbering.
So sad. Congratulations. You've killed the same guy 13 times. So sad. So sad. That was the... I mean, we said it after the Joker. I said, I'll just watch YouTube for the rest of the story. It's where you ended up. Thanks, Rockstar. Oh, it's Rocksteady. Rocksteady. Thanks, Rocksteady. Waterbear says, what a fucking waste of money. I could have bought $100 in Path of Exile 2 coins, damn it. I mean, I did say. I did warn you guys. Okay. I did. I did warn you. So, I mean, I got my money's worth. I got my money's worth. I'm listening to you 30. I'm not buying any AAA games this year, waiting for a sale and everything. Well, Eclipse, if a game is AAA and it comes out and it looks good, I'll let you know, right? I'll give you my opinion on it. But I'm telling you, certain games are like, I would stay clear of that, right? The campaign was good. It was good. I liked the story. I thought the fact that you were the bad guys going up against the good guys was a good concept. I don't know why people were so upset that they killed the bad guy, like the good guys of the Justice League. It was in the title. Surprise! Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. What? They killed the Justice League. But you were like, if you played the game and you were listening to the story, you're like, oh, those are clones. Those are clones. Right? You knew they were clones. We knew that they were coming back. There was people that data mined the stuff like week 1, and there was like a Batman of when he was supposed to come back and where he was saving. Like, everything was said early on. But the people are like, I can't believe they killed Batman. These guys are racist and sexist. And it's like, no, it's just, they're alive. They're alive. Now, because the game flopped and bombed, they didn't do anything with it, that's the way it works, right? If a game was good, then you get majority of the people would like it. They would have made money. They made more money. They would have made more content, but the game wasn't good overall. Okay. The end game was terrible. The on top, they had this at the beginning. They had the upside down triangle while you were playing the game. More and stuff was unlocking, but then they got to the end game and it went like this, and then it went like this dramatically. It's almost like a baseball diamond. That's exactly what it was. It's the baseball plate diamond, right? It's like this, and then it just did this. And it was the same the entire way through. It never changed. It didn't continue going out to have more things to do. It was just the same shit, reskinned, relooked. Oh, you're fighting this guy, but now it's Flash. You're fighting this guy, but now it's Green Lantern. It's like, really? Like, you took what Marvel's Avengers did and made it worse. Like, think about that. Think about that. They took what Marvel's Avengers did. They did what Anthem did. They did what Marvel's Avengers did, and they made it worse. They had this, and then they're like, no, let's do it. Let's do what they did. It's like, holy Christ. So dumb. Jones, I think you'll like the story. The story of the whole thing, besides the way the story ends, because they finish the story like it's a continuation because of it's a live service game, right? But the actual story itself is a good story. But here's the thing. Here's the difference, Water. We'll play a game that you kill the same boss 30 times, but there's other things to do. When it's the only guy to kill 30 times, that's the problem. Yeah, we're talking about Suicide Squad. We watched the last cutscene for Suicide Squad, Jones. What a freaking mess. What a shit show. Imagine if they, I think Mr. Luke, you said this when we were playing Marvel Rivals the other day, right? Imagine if you had characters that used weapons, had characters that used powers, had characters that used their actual thing. Like Harley Quinn was a melee character, and Boomerang used his boomerang, and right, like they used actual weapons and superpowers instead of guns. The foundation of the game, for what the game was, a looter shooter, was the massive problem with it because it was a live service looter shooter and you were leveling up guns and whatnot. They missed an opportunity to, okay, I'm fighting Bane, I'm fighting Sandman, I'm fighting Scarecrow, and then instead of fighting Brainiac 13 fucking times, you were saving certain heroes or bad guys and then bringing them onto your team and then using their powers. So dumb. Flip says, I would have been as mad if the last cutscene was CGI because I love the CGI cutscenes in that game. The fact, Eclipse, that they didn't even take the time, knowing that the game was going to shut down, to at least close it out with the CGI cutscene shows you and tells you everything that you need to know about Rocksteady and what they wanted to do with that game. Make a game, sell a game. They made that game, didn't want to make that game, and then dragged it out, dead body and all, just dragging it through just to get it out the door. Eclipse says to me, it's crazy that Avengers had more content in the DLC and that was free. Right. They didn't even hit the standard of what was supposed to. Suicide Squad's here. They had a really good story. I'll put it this way. I thought the single-player story in Suicide Squads was better than the single-player story in Marvel's Avengers. The writing, the action, the whole stuff that was happening. It was a better story for the single-player than Marvel's Avengers was. And then they tossed it out the door. Crowded House says, I'm still trying to wrap my head around why they thought just reskin fights for Brainiac was a good idea. Because they didn't give a shit. Somebody says combat is worse. Story was awful pacing. Heroes and added are bad. Took months to add on to the offline mode and mentioned before they launch, fighting on rooftops the majority. I'll disagree with you with the actual story. I disagree with you with the story. I thought the story was good, not great, but I thought it was good. I thought the acting was fantastic inside the actual things. It was stupid humor because that's what the Suicide Squad is. I thought the story was much better than the Marvel's Avengers story. Saint says is there something strange going on where the companies aren't trying to be profitable anymore? No way these companies are so oblivious. Yeah, I don't understand. I think it's got to be upper management to the devs. I think the devs wanted to make a game, but they were forced to make the game that they didn't want to make. Yeah, that game was supposed to come out the same time as Marvel's Avengers. It got delayed 2 years, Water. 2 years. Lucas says, I shouldn't never got the Marvel's Avengers Platinum. It made me hate the game. I just to like it. Jason says, I would love to know who signed off on Karen Freeze. That person should never work in games again. That whole cast they put in. The Joker is one of the most beloved villains in the history of DC, and they made him a joke. Cool character to use, by the way. Cool character to use, but completely botched it. The worlds they did, like bringing in different parts of the worlds from different universes, cool concept, but it's just the same shit reskinned. I agree. The story was better than the Marvel's Avengers. The post game of Marvel's Avengers is better, though. I agree with that. Yeah, the potential when they first showed us, and they were telling us those diaries, where they're like, yeah, in the end game you get this, this, and this, and it just kept going. I was like, oh, this is cool. But then they killed it in one full swoop. They're like, yeah, you're gonna fight Brainiac 13 times. Like, what? The same guy 13 times. A 2-year delay for reskin boss fights is bonkers. What was the game like before? We'll never know. We'll never know. You thought fighting AIM was monotonous and the same in Marvel's Avengers? At least you got to fight different bosses and stuff throughout that. Okay? It wasn't very many, but at least you didn't fight the same guy 13 times. I think you only had, what, 5 bad guys in that one? Such a shame. Maybe one day we'll go back and reinstall it and play through. Probably not, though. I'll just wait till they all the characters are just unlocked and I get to play. Because God forbid, why would they keep me, like, the game shuts down. Why do I have to play 30 levels to unlock them and I can't pay them because the game's closed down, right? Rappuccini equals Brainiac? Yeah, but at least there was different fights, though, Krebsy. That's what I'm saying. It was the same fight. Brainiac was the same fight. Jason says, don't do it, 30. Lessons were learned, maybe? No. This is exactly why I think Marvel Rivals should add more characters. This is exactly... here's my order of games, comic book games that came out in the last couple years that were better than... Like, in order, right? So, I love Marvel's Avengers. I played it the most, right? Never played Guardians of the Galaxies. I have to go back and play Guardians of the Galaxies, but I watched people play Guardians of the Galaxies, and it got... Guardians of the Galaxies is like one of the top comic book games that come out. And I'm keeping Spider-Man out of this, because Spider-Man is just PlayStation. I'm talking about third-party games that are across all things, right? So you have Guardians of the Galaxies, Marvel's Avengers, you have Gotham Knights, you have, what's it called? Suicide Squad, and now you have Marvel's Avengers. Okay, taking Marvel's Avengers out because obviously that's probably one of the better comic book things. But between Suicide Squad, Marvel's Avengers, Marvel's Avengers, Gotham Knights, Midnight Suns, and Guardians of the Galaxies, I would put Guardians of the Galaxy top. I would put Marvel's Midnight Sun. I'm going to put Marvel Midnight Sun above Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, and then Marvel's Avengers. Just for like the main game, right? The main game. Gotham Knights had really cool things happening, and I think they could have done more with it for a live service game, but it was just a single-player game. Put it down once you're done. Marvel's Avengers kind of botched it because they implemented you couldn't play certain characters, right? You couldn't play certain characters. You had to use certain characters in certain situations. At least Suicide Squad, you could switch characters anytime you wanted to, right? The story was better. I think the story in Marvel's Midnight Suns was really good, and Guardians of the Galaxy was way better. Gotham Knights was really good. Gotham Knights was really good. I really like the open world aspect of it as well. I thought the diversity of the characters was also good, and I wish they added more characters. That'll always be a thing for me. If it's a comic book game, more characters the better. The more, if you're not adding more, if you have a set strict characters that you're playing, then put as many villains in as possible. If you're adding more heroes, put as many heroes as possible. Like, I'm okay if Gotham Knights stayed with just the 4, maybe add one more character, but put as many villains as fighting in that game as possible. I think the biggest botch is Gotham Knights. I think Gotham Knights could have had that DLC. I don't know about a live service, but they could have. They didn't have to botch it. Guardians of the Galaxy is just a game, right? Just a game. Play the game, put the game down. It's a single-player game. Everything else is everything else is a live service that either got switched or pushed out as a looter shooter or taken away. Yeah, think about that, though, Lucas. Out of all the other games, Gotham Knights got destroyed because of the 30 frames per second. It's so ridiculous. So ridiculous. The actual game itself was good. The different fighting styles between all the characters, the story, the voice acting, the open world aspect of it, the way they did the boss fights and stuff was good. Rappuccini equals Brainiac equals Starro. Well, you know, there was different boss fights throughout the game for Gotham Knights. There was 3, 4. I think there was 5 in the main game, and then they added 3 more with the same characters. So you fought Harley twice, Clayface twice, and Mr. Freeze twice, but they were different than the first time you fought them. And then you had Starro, and then you had then you had what's her name at the end? I want to play it. Would recommend play it off stream because it has lots of licensed music and it makes the experience much better. Okay. Maybe what I'll do is I'll play it off stream. Maybe I'll record it and put it up. And it just won't have any, ad revenue or whatever. I guess I could play it, then it doesn't really matter. I want to play it. I own it. All right. That's going to do it for me for the Wednesday edition of the Daily Grind. I do appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us, hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Do appreciate you very much. We'll be back tonight, shooting the shit with Sarge, 8 p.m. tonight. Come on by. I think we're playing Halo Infinite tonight. We're going to be playing the campaign. I think it's just going to be me and him. We might bring other people. I'm not too sure. Because he wanted me to help him out within the game, and I couldn't because I was already far behind. So we might play that tonight on stream. If not, we'll play some Marvel Rivals again, but we'll probably play Halo Infinite tonight. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The Daily Grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty tuned daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips you from late night streams to morning plays. We cover gaming all the ways. Controller ready, headset too. We've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend. The show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive. The daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss. Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss. Entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases.